That's it. We are live. Today is Thursday, the 30th of August, 2018. Oh, Joe has just joined us. We've got a flat earth dude, Joe.
How are you?
Fine. Hello.
How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I can.
Hello.
Hey, Karen, Patricia, Paul, Joe.
How you doing?
Hello.
Good.
How's it going?
Is that a black hole on the wall there? What is that?
Oh yeah, it's apparently it's a Illuminati kill thing. I guess I'm one of them guys or something. But no, it was either this or the leopard skin that the little girl that was in this room had. I figured I just wanted to paint something on the wall instead.
Awesome.
How are you guys doing?
Yeah. Always to talk to you, and we can talk to you in a minute about your stuff because you've been putting loads of videos out. I was just going to say, as we were coming on, Paul, you've copied one of Flat Earth Dude's videos, haven't you, as well? Have you put it on your channel?
Yeah, I prefer to use the term mirrored because that way I don't sound like a copycat. But all props to Flat Earth Dude.
Hey, thanks for doing that.
That was awesome. A great shot. Great shot.
Lucky.
So when did
lucky,
you?
Man.
Yeah. So when
after
was
the
that?
lunar eclipse, right? So I missed the lunar eclipse. I'm all mad. I'm like, and I got people bugging me. Hey man, you get any pictures of the lunar eclipse? And I go, well, I'll just go out and take some pictures of the moon, you know. And I set up my P900, and I have a little tracking device so it can follow the moon. And I'm just standing there, and I look down at my screen, and I'm like, I must got a bug on my lens or something. And then you can hear me. I'm going, oh, what the heck?
Yeah,
you know, and I'm like, zoom in. So I just zoomed in on it.
And was priceless. If you listen, for those listening, if you go to the, I think it's even in the video, but like I know the raw video, you can hear you just go after it leaves the frame, you can hear you go, what?
Yeah, I was like, yeah, you know, you spend thousands of hours out there doing that, and
yeah, that was the shot. That was the shot.
Sometimes I've gotten a lot of really quick transits, you know, second and a half.
Are you guys talking that loon thing?
Yeah, the Googleoon or whatever, you know.
Was that you, Paul, or who took that? I didn't know.
That was me.
Awesome. Yeah, that must have been.
It was just a shock, you know. And there's the kind of things we're looking for, strange anomalies, and just got lucky. I should be out there more doing it and getting more lucky. The more you're out there, the more lucky you get.
So what do you guys think? What does everybody think it is? It was.
You know, I live near Disneyland. Could be Disneyland balloons, but
wasn't that in the movie Up? Was that the house?
We all know
it could be. It could have been the Up house. It's exactly what it looked like, right? Yeah.
I see DITRH in chat. He says it was ET. So
it was ET, man.
Trading his bike
on his bicycle.
Bicycle and balloons. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
And I did growing up.
You know, who knows?
Shout out to
we'll never know what it was, but
shout out to DITRH and the Flat Earth Podcast. Hope everybody's checking that out when they. I'm
giving everybody listening a free lifetime membership to that because I'm a giver.
DITRH has a cool video out today. I'm kind of biased, but
yeah, he's got good videos out every day.
What's today's video on?
I took a video of Capella, I think. Yeah, Capella last night, and it's pretty wild. And he made a quick video about it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that's the good thing. The good thing about David's videos are, which I really appreciate, and I've started to mirror a lot of it. Yeah, they're all less than 5 minutes, sometimes a minute or two. Although I had one person emailed me one time, and I had done a video with no sound. Oh, I mirrored a video from Dr. John D, the PhD who's doing all the laser and tests now over in England. And I mirrored the video, and he didn't do any sound with his. I mean, it was totally silent. He just had slides.
Oh yeah, you got hammered on that. There's no
somebody
sound. Put some
there's no sound. Well, some guy emailed me and he said he's deaf. So he's blind, and so he really wanted to find out why there was no sound. And he was telling me all of this. He was actually blind, and so he counts on vids with sound. And he goes, I stay away from DITRH because he never talks in any of his videos.
You're not popular with the blind.
David, you're not popular with the blind community.
Blind flat earthers, man.
You know, that's one thing to think about.
I gotta find a blind flat earther, man. That's great.
They'd probably be better at it.
Yeah, they actually probably are.
And I want to make sure that everybody, if you get a chance, on next Tuesday, my show on Truth Frequency Radio. My co-host and I were just recording it today because I'm going to be out of town, and so we're uploading it. How do I put this gently? You're going to want to listen in, especially to the second half of the show, because there's a story that my co-host tells. And I mean, the show is supposed to be, kind of flat earth related, but we kind of go off topic. And there's a artificial penis in the story. And I want to make sure that you guys hear that, because it's one of the funniest stories I have ever heard in my life. You'd only see in a movie. That's all I'm going to say.
That's a pretty good teaser, Paul. That's
all I'm going to do is going to tease it.
Tease it out there.
Yep. I can't wait to see what the thumbnail is that I'm going to upload with this thing, because the story is hilarious and it involves an artificial penis.
That's hilarious. Artificial.
Okay. No more hints then.
No more hints. I just can't spoil it. I can't spoil it. It hasn't even aired yet. I just got to, I just have to keep it under wraps, but you're not going to want to miss it.
All right.
Right. Okay then. And before you go as well, like at the end of the hangout, just plug it again. What your hangout, your podcast, Paul, do it again at the end. It's always good that we're here, aren't we, to help and help other people, and hopefully more people will watch. So we were talking about a few things before we went live, and obviously I'll come back to Joe, because Joe's also done a lot of research as well. What were the things that we were going to talk about, Paul? It's just went out of my head now.
You're really, I can barely hear you, Karen, for some reason. It sounds.
What are we going to talk about now, Paul? We're going to talk about something. What are we talking about?
Oh, we were talking about the Google loon, the flat Earth, the Saddaloon. Before I went off on my tangent with my artificial penis.
Say that again. Just kidding.
Artificial penis.
Say that 3 times.
I want to see how many times I can say it.
I bet you that's
Where
the first time that happened on
this
this show.
show going today? That's awesome. That's funny.
Let's talk about.
We're on the subject. Why not talk about rockets?
other penis shaped, other penis shaped NASA equipment.
They don't go to space. They're just artificial.
They are artificial. That's right. Artificial space penises. No, what I was going to say is the P1000. I know a lot of us here have cameras, and obviously Flat Earth do the P900. Who's planning to get the P1000?
I am.
You got to pre-order.
See, I want to, we'll see. I think I'm going to wait until it's, somebody's got one and we can see what it can do. I'm thinking, from all the specs, it seems like it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, it looks like it. The one thing I like is I think it said it had zoom, or it had focus adjust on the remote. That's what I would want.
Focus on.
Cool.
It's got a focus ring on the lens.
Okay. That's better than that switch on the P900, I'm sure.
Anything's better than that.
Yeah. It is.
And then there's focus on with your app on your phone.
Oh,
is that what I heard?
No, on the P900, you have to use like the little dial thing.
Or there's like
for focusing
side, and it just shakes the camera all over.
Yeah. Well, if I know there's a I was hoping that the P1000, and I haven't read up on the specs yet, but the P900, I think it's all Nikon cameras when you Bluetooth it to your phone, and you can actually take pictures with the or hit the shutter with your phone and look at all your images that are stored on there or whatever. But I was hoping that the P1000 would be able to allow you to focus and take pictures remotely as well.
That's what I'm hoping, and you'd think they would have done the focus on there. I think. I mean,
yeah,
it is 2018, right?
Well, that's the idea. It'd be great to not have to touch that thing at all when you're being able to adjust, especially when it's sitting on a tripod.
Yeah, definitely. They get kind of front heavy when the lens sticks out 7 feet from the camera.
I know, that's what Karen and I were just talking about with the show. Is like when the first time I was playing with the P900, and I just had it in my hands, holding it up to my face, and I was zooming with that lens. It got real front heavy fast, and then when I'm sitting in an airplane, I'm sitting on the plane and I'm taking pictures out the window, and I'm zooming in. All of a sudden, boom! It hits the window. You don't realize it.
Or like mine, it hits the ground a couple times, and yeah, I've had mine apart and replaced some gears in it, and it sounds pretty rough.
Sounds pretty rough now.
Well, since you had it apart, you could turn it into infrared rather easily.
I know. Right? I actually had it apart 2 times. I had to replace a ribbon from the first time I took it apart. The second time, but yeah, it's good to go. But it makes a little bit of noise. Like, kind of, I don't like the noise. It's like oh, sweet, it turned off and it worked. I don't know how many times it'll keep going.
Yeah, for people, speaking of infrared, I was talking with a friend of mine, Flat Earth Photographer is what his channel name is on YouTube. I've mirrored a couple of his videos. He was, I think, one of the first, if not the first, I saw that was using infrared. He had converted one of his cameras, not a P900, but had converted one of his cameras to infrared, and he said, yeah, you could probably get like a filter or whatever to put on the front of the lens or whatever. He goes, that's the aperture, and he went through the specifics of why it's just going to let in too much light or whatever, that you really got to do the conversion. You got to send the camera out if you don't know what you're doing, which I wouldn't. You got to send it out to a reputable company that's going to actually open it up, and conversions to be able to shoot infrared, and then it's going to only shoot infrared. You can't switch back and forth because it doesn't have a detachable lens, the P900, and that's the key.
So what about I have a D5000 and I got a few lenses for it, or lenses for it. I wonder how hard it is to make that one into
you could switch that to, I think you can switch those to full spectrum.
That'd be awesome, because it's a nice camera. I just never use it.
Those are nice.
Yeah, it'd be really cool for having like a P900 or P1000 that's not converted, and then one that is got the infrared capabilities right next to each other, and being able to take the same shot pretty much from the same angle, same conditions, same long distance, and be able to compare the two to really see how much that changes the how clear we can see, and how it cuts through the air. That would be really cool.
Yeah, and then everybody that lives on a sphere can just ignore it like they do.
Yeah.
It's just refraction. Just relax. It's refraction.
I had that. I heard Globebusters on, I think it was on Sunday. They were talking about that PBS show.
Yeah, that was their latest. Yeah.
Thing. They're looking 6 miles. You guys, there's a lake that I live by that is, well, it's up to 20 miles, but there's this one spot that I was looking across that's 9.5 miles. And like, I took a lot of video and I picked through it all, and I found 9.5 miles away, I've got a car. It's across a lake, and there's a road there on the other side of the lake, and there's a car delivering mail to the mailbox, and then there's 3 trees coming out of the bank of the lake.
Yeah, I saw this video of yours. Yeah, they're kind of growing like out of the bank and then up, like sideways and up. Yeah,
I sent that video to some people with a question. Forget flat Earth. just forget flat Earth. What about it? Is this something that people can recognize at all? Can they even look at it? Do you know what I mean? I don't think they can even look at it, because how do you get a helicopter to disappear and then I can see the mailman's hand putting the mail, and I'm 3.5 miles further? Makes no sense. And that's PBS and Hollywood, you know, they got money. I don't have no money.
Yeah, I mean, one of the first tests, if you guys have probably heard the story, one of the first tests I did when I got the P900 is I took it down. I was on a business trip down to Reno, Nevada, and I went over to Lake Tahoe, and I sat down on the northwest shore, and I shot across the lake 18.5 miles and was able to see the casinos. And I put together a video on it, and you know, did all the calculations and everything. And then I started getting emails from people that live there, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I see those all the time." And then one guy even sent me a video, I can't remember if it was a picture or video that he had taken, and from the same beach and look in the same casinos at 17.9 miles, and you could see, and he could see the traffic going by on the street level. And these casinos are 200 feet high, and he could see all the way down to the street. Another thing that I just recently learned, like probably about a month ago, is that shot that I was position that I was in from that beach in the northwest corner looking to the south of the lake, that the casinos sit on the ground that is actually lower than the lake level when I was there, because the banks are built up, and it was at an all-time high. Lake Tahoe was when I was there. And the casinos, actually, the base of them were at the lake level or below when it comes to their altitude. So it's remarkable to be able to see what we can. That was 18 miles away.
That's 6 times further than you know, standing on the ground than the horizon's supposed to be away from you.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, like, I give up on. I'm saying we know what we know. We know these things because we've gone out and looked for 3 years. And you know what I'm saying to people, like on Facebook and stuff now, everyone calls you a liar, or they tell you, oh, you weren't there, you were a different place, or you were on a boat, or whatever. And I'm like, I don't argue with these people anymore, because if they can't acknowledge that just the simple thing that I got in my truck, drove to a lake, took my camera out, pointed it across the other side of the lake. That is not something that is challenging. It's not something that is controversial. It's nothing but a simple observation.
Very simple. Too simple.
Yeah.
I think it's too simple, because you'd think that it would have to be a lot more difficult to be able to go out with just your camera on a certain day and have photographic evidence. You got photographic evidence,
and then
there is no curve. But there's no curve. Photographic evidence, and just Joe Blow on the street with a commercially available camera. Too easy.
I got photographic evidence, well, image evidence of a globe.
And the thing is, we put it up public.
Whoa! Stop the show, Karen.
I missed that. What was that?
It's an image. It says it's an image. It might not be a photo.
It's a composite, probably, right?
It's composite. It could be Photoshopped.
A whole bunch of images. Maybe it's Photoshopped.
Sorry, I'm being funny.
No, I just there's more going on than just physical observations, and because we're documenting them, putting them out public for people to look at. We want people to look at them. We want people to go and do it on their own. We're encouraging people to learn, and there's an absolute they're against it.
Exactly. Yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Dr. John D, I mirrored one of his videos, but I see he's put out another one. I think it was even this morning or yesterday, but he's in the south of England, and he's doing, I think, up to 45 kilometers now. So what is that? 25 plus miles of these long distance shots using, he's got his camera out there. He's got a telescope out there. And, this guy's a PhD. Okay. PhD, and he is practicing science, the scientific method. That's what everybody hates, because he's not Neil deGrasse Tyson dropping mics on a comedy show. But this guy, he's the guy he's not putting any audio with this. He's just giving you the hard data and the pictures.
Yes,
and it's awesome because it's
I've been
dropping
that
face.
Link all over the place, man. Saying PhD proves flat Earth.
Yep. Yeah,
Boom.
I've emailed him back and forth a couple of times, and he's getting. I mean, he's on it. This guy's great to have in the community. Yeah, he's legit.
We need him. Yeah, people say, hey, who's the scientist?
I know, we always hear that. Where's the PhDs? Where's the PhDs? Well, they're there. They're out there.
Could I say hello, everybody?
Hi, Astral.
Astral, buddy.
Hello.
Hi.
Good to hear you,
hi
man.
in the chat.
Yeah. Hi, everybody in the chat. What you just said then, Flat Earth dude, PhDs and all that lot, it would be also just as impressive having the 4-year-old come with the same results and the same, analysis, if you understand what I'm saying.
I do.
Absolutely.
I want to send a 5-year-old to kindergarten and have him start arguing with the teacher. It's 8 inches per mile squared. Can you show me that?
That should be something that's taught in school. Yeah. What a joke. Our world is just messed up. It is. Can I run something by you guys before I forget? And it won't take more than a minute. I had an idea, and it's like a very simple idea, but at the same time, I think it could be very effective. I don't know if you guys are on Facebook a lot, and you guys got YouTube channels and whatever. I'm gonna drive out to Pyramid Lake and get a camping permit or whatever. Park my truck there. I'm gonna bring all my optics out there, and I'm gonna make someone go to the other side of the lake. It's just like over 6 miles. I'm gonna go right where they did on that PBS thing, and I'm just gonna have them wave at the camera from the other side of the lake, because that is fake footage. I'm convinced that it's fake. It's completely fake. Because, those birds going across, you guys are aware of that, right? On the water there, when the helicopter's going up and down. I don't know if you guys saw that.
Joe, that video was a bit weird, really, wasn't it? Because they're trying to tell you that it dipped down so that there's a curve, but what they're forgetting is that you can still see land behind it.
Yeah. And also, did you guys notice that the helicopter is pointing the wrong way when they're lowering down and going back up? It's ridiculous. It was the crappiest production I've ever seen. Like who
it's a load of
the
crap.
Editing on that? Who did that?
We got a music guy in the house. Hold on.
Hey.
Where's Alex?
Alex in the house.
That was for Alex.
He's on the panel, that dude.
I know. That's why I played that for him.
Nice to see you, Flat Earth guru.
I got a new ukulele.
Wow, man, that's beautiful. I'm pretty jealous over here.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, where's the slide? How you doing, Alex?
I'm good. How are you? That's beautiful playing, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah, anytime you can string it and ring it, man. It's a good day.
I'm a little jealous over here, man.
Baby. You might have to play us a song.
I'd love to, but I'm not in the studio. I'm with mobile device at the moment. This is
acapella it is. Acapella.
Yeah, okay.
I get a kick out of your tunes.
Who's that?
Joe Hill.
Joe Hill.
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, Joe Hill.
Joe, you're
good, man.
You're in California?
Sorry,
no,
Alex.
Joe?
Alex, you're about to go viral, I believe.
What makes you say that?
Something that's I've been picking up on the last few days. I think something that I've seen as well. Like, you're about to go, man. I'm really sure about that.
Well, it's funny you should say that. I did a pre-record on a radio show on Flat Earth Radio Live a few days ago, and he's been pushing that on social media and paying for Facebook ads as well. And he reckons he's pushing it to like 500,000 people.
Wow,
that's good. I mean, I don't know. I can still hear that ukulele.
I know. I'm sorry. I can't put it down. I just got it. You get a new instrument, man. You just can't put it down.
Oh, I feel that.
Keeps jumping back in my hand, darn it.
Like with a hammer, everything looks like a nail.
Getting back to the point. And also the other thing is the YouTube channel, plaintruth.info. also put a shout out to my channel as well, and then I had like a couple of hundred extra subscribers overnight, so that's good, you know. So
that's great.
That's great. The music's growing, the conference is coming, the album is soon to be released, so I'm just very excited, man, you know. But what makes you say? What makes you say? Astral, what have you felt? What have you seen?
It's something that I've seen in the last week or so on the net. Obviously related to you because I know you, like, you know, it's because of that, and it's like, where did I see it now? But I've seen it a couple of places, not just one place. Where did you say before? Plaintruth.info.
Yeah, plaintruth.info mirrored one of my songs, and he got a shout out to me, and I got a bunch of new subscribers through that.
I've seen it on that, but I've seen it on something totally obscure, something that's not related to like us. There's why I'm
one
saying.
guy that mirrored one of my songs. It's got up to about 200,000 views at the moment. It's more than the video. It's more channel. But if you collate all the views of my videos on other people's channels, you're in the millions, man.
Yeah, I got you on my channel even.
Sweet. That's good, man. I love the people.
I'm breaking up here.
Yeah, I'm hearing. I'm not hearing much.
Yeah, he broke up a bit. We're just having all these problems at the moment. Great. Just to say, don't you put some of Paul's music on your channel as well, don't you, Paul?
I am definitely one of the biggest fans of Conspiracy Music Guru. And in fact, I was just thinking about this morning. I don't know who I'm more excited to meet in person in Denver. Is it going to be my co-host of my Truth Frequency Radio show, who I haven't met, but we obviously talk daily, or the man, the myth, the legend, Alex? That's a toss-up right now. It's a toss-up.
Come with a harness normally, or just for the videos?
Oh, that's awesome to hear. That is so awesome, man. I tell you.
Stop that! I'm blushing, man. No, likewise, man. Likewise. I can't wait. There's so many people, you know, in the Flat Earth family. I can't wait to get there and just meet everybody. Likewise, Paul. I can't wait to meet you and just be in that vibe, man. We're gonna have such a crack. I can't wait.
It's going to be the biggest Flat Earth meetup in history, by far. By far. It's going to be great. And that's what I tell people is, you know, hey, the speakers are great. You know, it's great to sit down and hear them share. And, you know, the Robbie Davidson, the organizers, you know, I've been to the Raleigh one and I could see what was going on in Canada. I mean, he puts on a really good show. You know, multimedia equipment is great. Alex is going to be there, you know, doing his thing and releasing new songs. But what people are going to come away with is the experience of the relationships of the people that are there and the friendships they make, and sitting down and having a coffee or a beer with like-minded people and talking to people that they've talked to for, you know, many, many months or years at their meeting for the first time. That's the experience. And that's what I'm going for. That's why you want to go.
Yeah, exactly. And for me also, that was the straw that broke the camel's back for me as well, because I was umming and ahhing about it for such a long time, because, you know, to go from Spain to America, you know, it's costing me thousands, you know, with the hotel bill and everything. And, well, you know, I was talking backwards and forwards with the wife saying, you know, should we go? But, you know, once you start to analyze who you're going to be surrounded by and those kind of experiences, you know, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. I thought, man, I've got to go. This is a once in a lifetime
priceless
for me.
Priceless.
It's absolutely priceless.
Nobody that goes is going to regret being there. You're not going to leave going, wow, this was a waste of time. I wish I hadn't done this. You're going to leave there inspired and fired up, and you're going to be hoping you'll be wanting to book tickets to the next one already.
Well, I'm already talking about that with the wife, actually, because the next one is going to be on a boat. It's going to be on a cruise ship. And that's going to be cool. I mean,
wow.
Robbie announced that at the end of the Canada conference, and he said he was showing that I think it's the biggest ocean liner ferry in the world, and it's going to have like a few hundred flat earthers on there as well, which is, or maybe even 1,000 flat earthers, maybe more. I don't know how many.
Looking at all that flat water.
What better place to have it?
All that bendy water.
Yeah.
Bendy water.
Everybody's going to be trying to measure curvature, and they're not going to find it.
So yeah, I'm hooked, man. I can't. Well, I'm probably going to go to that as well.
Isn't that really nice? though, that like because obviously on this panel, I don't know if Joe's going, but to the Denver meet, but you know, you're really looking forward to meeting Paul, and Paul's really looking forward to meeting you. That's great, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. It's gonna be. It's like reuniting with a family. You know, like
family
the family
reunion.
you never met.
Exactly.
That's kind of the vibe I get.
Yeah, family reunion.
Amazing. I'm not sure if we just lost him there.
With some really good music.
Yeah. Back now, Alex.
Everyone's breaking up on me. Everyone sounds like robots.
Maybe you should just put your microphone on and off. As Paul, I don't know how long Paul's got. Paul, is there anything else you want to talk about today?
Well, I just wanted to, and I kind of talked about this, I think a couple of weeks ago when you and I last spoke, Karen, but I think there's going to be, hopefully we're going to be making some waves soon when it comes to this old nemesis of ours that we always, you know, when we're doing experiments and tests and reviewing other people's experiments and tests, and we get into these conversations online, which I don't do it as much anymore, but for those of us that are on the front lines and we're dealing with our old nemesis of gravity, the video or the video documentary that Stephen Knox, my co-host, Noxie, is about ready to release, hopefully within the next week, I think is going to change that. He was just talking about it this morning. We were pre-recording our show for next Tuesday night. The second half is where he tells his penis story, but the first half of the show, he's talking about the work he's been doing for the last 2 years. And he basically said this. He said, you know, he is 99.99999% sure that the video, all of his experiments that he's done and the work that he's about ready to publish is totally going to debunk gravity. Totally debunk it. There is no way around it because of the experiments that he's conducted and the results that he's got, and he's documented this, and he's going to be publishing it, and he's going to be doing it in a way, and I don't know if you guys know much about him, but his background is in filmmaking. He's a special effects guy, animation type of guy, and so the video that he's going to do is really going to be of top quality. It's not just going to be the camera sitting there at the sink and, him doing this or that. Nothing against those types of videos, because that's the type of video that I would do. Nothing special about it. But he's going to be doing it in a way that is going to appeal to the masses, I would say. The people that aren't even maybe not even aware of this conversation are going to be able to, I think, see this, and it's going to grab. You guys know who Vsauce is, and yes, he's done some flat Earth debunking videos, which are obviously a bunch of crap. But that style that he does, where he asks a rhetorical question, and then there's animation, and it's just this really nice production, nice polished piece of work. That's what we're going to be seeing with this documentary that he's going to do. And I think it's going to make some serious waves, not gravitational waves, but serious waves in the flat Earth community. And it's really going to force the hand of those that are trying to defend the globe by using gravity as their God, as their go-to, because it's going to be thoroughly debunked, I think, in my opinion. So that's what I'm really, really excited about, what's going to be coming up here in the next week or two. And I just can't wait to be able to share it with everybody, because I think it's going to give us even more, I think, power in those conversations that we're having when we're talking to family or friends or even somebody online, to be able to say, yeah, well, if gravity were true, then how come this, and this? And there's no comeback from this sort of thing, because it's empirical evidence. It's observable, testable, repeatable. Anybody can do it in their home, with normal household things. And that's what makes it so powerful. And I'm really excited. So that's really top of my mind right now. And I really can't wait to see the reaction that the community has when they get their hands on this. That's where my head is right now.
Parts to this podcast, then.
It's always encouraging. It's always encouraging before you let out a video, like when you're making it or whatever, or thinking about it. And then when you release it or let it publish it or whatever, then all this stuff comes at you, and they're like, they don't even look at it. It's like frustrating. Obviously some people see it, and it gets through to them. But when it doesn't, it drives me nuts.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. This is one that I think everybody's going to want to mirror. They're going to want to share it out because it's really going to, I mean, the Defender of the Globe really is going to have some explaining to do, you know, because this is just some stuff that is just so simple, yet so powerful at the same time. So, you know, this guy's put in this is like 2 years of work. He's been working on this. And he's done, I don't know how many experiments, but he did one and then he was like, okay, then I need to do this. Then I need to do this. And every time he did another experiment, then he was like, oh, then I should test this and test this. I mean, we're talking about 2 years worth of work here that he's going to put into like 5 or 10 minutes of a real polished piece. I think it's going to make some serious waves. So we'll see.
So we look forward to that then.
Yeah. And another shout out to DITRH. And no, my logo does not have the word poop in it. Everybody listen to the Flat Earth podcast, by the way, because that's an awesome, awesome show.
Yeah, that we had a little, Patricia made a little joke. She said, are you coming by plane? We already did that one. It's probably not funny anymore, but it was when Patricia said it.
I'll be coming by plane over the plane.
Yeah. Plain and plain.
It's actually a very nice logo you have there, Paul. I kind of like that.
Yeah, I want to thank, let's see, William. I think he's in the chat. William, are you in the chat? I think I just saw you. William, I think he's listening in. He's
William
creative and
Jensky.
support.
Jensky?
Yeah. Yep. There he is. He's my support. He's my support team for creative and technical support team for all of my all the work that you see online, pretty much. So he's to thank for that. He helped produce that.
He might be coming out to. We got a Flat Earth party going on in a week from Saturday in Sunset Beach. He says he's in Pacific Palisades, so he needs to come.
Who, William?
Yep. Is he in Pacific Palisades?
Is that what he said? I'm not
that's
sure. I'm not sure if that's where he is. Let's see what he says.
That's what he said, which is not that far from Sunset Beach.
No, I think he's over in Europe.
In Europe? Oh, okay. He's in Germany. Oh, he won't be coming then.
Yeah.
Never
he's
mind.
in Germany. Yeah.
All right. Shout out to Germany.
Shout out to William. He has become a very good friend and really helped me kind of get all my stuff together.
Oh, he went to school in the Palisades. Okay, got it. A little slow.
And he's also in charge of putting together a thumbnail for that penis show that I'm doing. So it'll be interesting to see what he comes up with. And what, is that number 10 or I'm up to 15 now? The times I've said penis on your show, Karen. I'm trying to see if I can
yeah. For a record.
Now. And we still don't really.
You're gonna have to retitle.
It's a fake. It's a fake penis.
It's an artificial one. Yes.
Artificial.
We were very careful not to use the word.
No curvature.
The D word. We were very careful not to say it. But we called it a sexual apparatus, I think, during the show. So we tried to stay away from that. But
keep it clean, man. Keep it clean.
You need to be really clear why it's very important that you understand what we're talking about, because the visuals of the story then becomes much funnier. So I won't tease it anymore, though. I mean, we just recorded this morning, and the reason we did is because I'm going to be gone. But
if you want some more stories about penises, Tuesday at what, 9?
Tuesday, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, U.S. TFRlive.com.
Truth Frequency Radio. It's free. You can't
free to listen live. Yeah, it's free to listen live. I'll probably upload it to YouTube after too. So those of you that don't get to see it or hear it live, we're definitely going to have to share this one out. It's funny. I want everybody that goes to the conference and meets Noxie for the first time to acknowledge the story.
Doesn't a slinky as well, by the way, doesn't that sort of show you that gravity's a load of rubbish?
Good segue, Karen. That, in fact, speaking of slinkies, I've got one sitting right here on my desk. Yeah. So Noxie in his documentary, one thing that he obviously is using is slinkies, because that is something that's very, very odd why it reacts the way it does, where it collects itself, all in one spot, and then the whole thing drops after it's all sprung together. So I was actually performing that experiment in my swimming pool with a slinky, and my wife was filming it underwater. That was one of the many tests that were done to start to kind of formulate these conclusions that gravity is a big steaming pile of crap.
Yeah, I put that one on Sun and Moon in the past. I did.
And the whole idea of doing the swimming pool was to show that it reacts very much like a slinky does in the air. And that's going towards the premise and getting people to understand that the air that we live in, that we breathe, and that our whole lives are in, is a fluid as well. Water is a fluid, and the air is a fluid, and every object in a fluid, whether it's water or air, is subject to those fluid dynamics. And especially when you've got a fluid contained within a fluid, there's some very interesting observations you could make. And the one thing that really got Noxie going was when he did his first test, was when he took a gallon of water, and it, in the air, on the ground, it weighs 8 pounds, approximately 8 pounds. He took a gallon of air, maybe in the same container, he dumped it out. I don't know what exactly he did, but he was able to measure the weight, the negative weight in the z-axis of the gallon of air in water. And no matter how deep it was, how much more water he put on top of it, guess how much the gallon of air weighed underwater? 8 pounds.
Were you expecting that then? Were you expecting it to be different?
Yeah, you'd expect the deeper you'd go and the more water you piled on top, that there would be more and more force, right? More and more pressure as the gravity tried to pull the water around it. Because that's what we're told buoyancy is gravity pulling the air or water around it down and forcing the thing up. Well, that's not observable, testable, or repeatable.
Well, at least you showed that then.
Shutting it down.
Yeah, thank you for that, because I mirrored that one on Sun and Moon. I think you must have been coming on or something, but I mirrored it. That's really good.
Very cool.
What about any more experiments then, Paul?
Personally, I don't have any in the pipeline right now. What I would tell folks to do is to continue to pay attention to what the FE Core folks are doing, the independent research group, FE Core. They are conducting, getting ready to conduct a couple of some pretty big experiments, a big microwave test. Microwaves are really good in seeing if there's a bulge in water over great distances, because it's, propagates in a straight line, not subject to refraction like even a laser is. So they're planning some very long distance microwave tests, which are going to, in fact, it's going to be from the Netherlands to England, is, what they're building up to. That microwave signal, a consistent microwave transmission signal received shore to shore over a great distance, with the signal just above the waters, just above the surface of the water. What they did was, they obviously used their laser and their aiming device, and they had a 25-mile successful test on a lake in the Netherlands, and then they went out and used the microwave setup to confirm that test as well. So there was two different measurements, two different tools that confirmed that the surface of water is flat, doesn't conform to the WS or the WG84 model. Showing that there is no curvature, that the water is not following the curvature of the earth or of the land. And so they're now ramping that up to some greater distances. So very exciting stuff. And then obviously the reboot of some very classic and historical experiments that the scientific community was conducting 100 years ago. Michelson, Morley, Michelson, Gale, laser interferometers, and looking to detect the motion, either the orbital motion or the spin of the Earth, and using 21st century technology to try to detect that. And Aries failure as well. Is it the Earth that's moving, or is it the star field above us, the ether, that's moving? And rebooting those with 21st century technology. Those are the things that are top of mind for me. Very, very exciting.
Yeah. And do you still also have your 24-hour show going? Does that still go?
Yeah, I moved it over to my backup channel. So obviously there's not many subscribers there because I just started that a month or two ago, but I have it streaming over there 24/7. That way I can stream on my main channel, if I'm not at home or whatever. So yes, it's still going. That's excuse me, that channel is Paul on the Plane FE, youtube.com/Paul on the Plane FE is my backup channel. That's where my 24/7 live flat Earth stream is. If anybody wants to check that out.
Hey, you're also quite a busy man, aren't you, Paul? We're quite lucky to have you on a hangout today.
I try to stay busy. I like being busy. Yeah, absolutely. I'm really enjoying the show. For those of you that haven't had a chance to listen in, it's as we mentioned, it's 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesday nights on TFR. I'm right before Mark Sargent's show, Strange World. So we kind of gotta, he's on for 2 hours. Mine's only an hour show. So there's 3 hours of live flat Earth content every week on TFR. So if you got nothing going on, tune in, and usually we both are doing some sort of call-in shows. So buzz us in and join the conversation. Love to hear from some more people and continue this conversation about the nature of our world.
Hey, sounds good.
And I want to give a shout out to Iron Realm Media, who's in the chat, because they have a great show on TFR too. I think it's Tuesday and Friday mornings, called The Ironworks with Josh Corey, another great flat Earth show on TFR. There's quite a few hosts. Rob Skiba is also on TFR, and Jeranism's on TFR. So a lot of great flat Earth shows out there. So tune in. It's a great station. Big shout out to the station manager, Chris and Sherry Geo, doing a great job. Jaron tells the best story, I think, because he was asked to start his show, Jeranism Raw, and he said, well, what can I say? What can I say? Or whatever, what are the rules? And Chris said to him, we don't censor our hosts. You say whatever you want. This is free speech. This is this is your show. You do whatever you want. And Jaron was like, okay, I can live with that. And that's what they've held to, those principles today. Anything goes. I mean, obviously you keep it clean and, don't use a lot of, you don't use the word penis very much, but I'm generally speaking, you need to keep it clean. But topics, there is nothing that's really off limits, and that's what makes the station great.
And if you got complaints about the show, it's Tough Titties at TFR. Is that right?
Yep. I think you've heard some of the house ads. Chris does a spot that says, if you have a problem with some of the content here, you can pretty much shove it up your arse. Yeah, it's great. ToughTitties@gmail.com or something like that.
Paul, can I ask you how many flat Earth shows are there now on TFR? You mentioned about 5 there.
Let's see here. I think there's 5 that I know of. Yeah.
And how many were there last year?
I don't know when a lot of them started. I mean, Mark's been doing his show for a couple of years. I think Jaron has been doing it for over a year. Josh with Ironworks, they just started, I think, it's been less than a year, I think. Josh can chime in. I think it's almost a year now. I'm probably the newest one. I'm not sure how long Rob Skiba has been on. I've just been on since April. I just did my 20th episode on Tuesday, so just kind of getting going myself. But
have you got any idea of the reach of these shows, the kind of audience?
Yeah, it's about, at any one time, there's about 3,300 listeners. When you're plugged into the system and doing your show, you can see the live stats. So it's on True Frequency Radio, and then iHeartRadio also simulcasts it. So there's always a couple thousand there too. So it's it's pretty nice little reach.
Yeah, beautiful. I wonder where it's going to be in a couple of years' time. It's nice to see that kind of growth.
Yeah, and then Alex, we need to have you on the show too, and it might be kind of tough for you because it's the time slot and it's live. But maybe we could pre-record something sometime if you're willing.
Yeah, absolutely willing. Yeah, if we could pre-record, I don't really like the idea of staying up till 5 o'clock in the morning because I'm not going to be no good to anybody at that time.
All right, well, I'll hit you up and we'll schedule something. I'm going to be on the road a lot the next couple of weeks. Next month or two. So I'm trying to do. I'm doing a lot of pre-recording just so that I always have some new content out there. I don't want to do a rebroadcast if I can't or if I can help it. So I'll hit you up and we'll figure something out.
Sure, man. I look forward to it. Yeah. Cool.
Are you pre-recording tonight?
What's that? I'm sorry, you broke up there.
Are you pre-recorded tonight?
Yeah, we that's here it comes again, Karen. The penis story was just recorded today. It's for a Tuesday night show though, so we're ahead of schedule here. I'm going to be busy all weekend and traveling next week, so we set aside some time to get it pre-recorded. So the show is done. I just need to upload it into the system, and then it'll play on Tuesday night through the system.
And we've got to wait till then. We're really talking about.
Yeah, we're just gonna tease it. Just teasing it. That's how it's done.
Might have to change the show now.
Yeah, I think DRTRH just texted me, said I think I've said penis 20 times now. Oops, 21.
It's conspiracy music penis guru. No, I'm just.
Karen, you gotta have to put penis in the
Paul
title.
On the
at least
penis, man. Paul on the penis.
Whoa! I don't know. Maybe we need to do penis.
I think you guys meet Beavis and Butthead. I think
Karen's gonna start muting us.
She's gonna kick me out here in a second.
She's gonna
call it Paul on the happiness plane.
Artificial. On the artificial.
Talking of artificial penises, I'd just like to say hi to David Weiss in the chat.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's buying a beer for everybody that says penis during the show at the conference. So
there you go.
Yes, he is. A shot of tequila, one or the other.
It's going to be a party.
Yeah.
All these crazy flat earthers in one spot. It's going to be awesome. Feel sorry for the other patrons that have no idea this is going on the same weekend in the same hotel, same conference center, and they're going to be walking by and they're just going to get flat smacked. Can you see David Weiss running around the hallways there, with his stickers and brochures, and nobody has a chance. Nobody's going to have a chance.
Oh my goodness. I got to experience that firsthand. We walked into an establishment that was serving alcohol, and when we left, it was a flat earth bar, man. It was everywhere,
awesome.
Man. From the bars to all the posters, everything was flat earth.
That's what we were just saying.
I was at a
meetup Friday before last, 2 Fridays ago now, and Mark was there and D Marble was there. It was in Northwest Washington, and one of the people were saying that it's like, hey, when I went to my first meetup, the bar outnumbered us, but there was like 35 of us out on the patio of this place, and he was like, now we're starting to outnumber the bar. It's awesome. This was a Friday night. We had more people there than were in the bar. Yeah, and it was even a karaoke night, and it was awesome.
Awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also Alex, do you have a P900, by the way? Just asking, because this is P900.
Every time she says P900, I think she's going to say penis.
So did I. That's exactly what I thought she was going to say.
I'm sorry, Karen. This show's going downhill fast.
I was already ready with the answer.
No, I'll never think of the P900 the same again. It's horrible.
At least it's the P1000 now. It would be a little bit easier to distinguish.
Dear. No, to answer the question, no, P900 is far too small for me. I'm definitely a P1000 guy. No, let's stop this now. This is getting ridiculous.
We're calling it cool fits from now on.
That's tonight, is it then, guys?
lads night, yay.
Anyway, Joe, you've been doing lots of work as well, haven't you? Quite, stars, moon, telescope.
Yeah, if you can call it work, I don't really call it work, but there's a lot of stuff I'm seeing through my telescope that I'm like, I've never seen this before. Like I have a pretty sweet setup going right now with it's an 8-inch. It's got a 4-foot focal length. So it's a big telescope, but it's a Dobsonian reflector, and I got my Sony Handycam mounted on there, which isn't the nicest camera. It's a pretty good camera, and yeah, some of the stars that I'm looking at, and they're all different. They're all, because a lot of people would look at them and they'll say, "Oh, you're not focused," and I am focused, and I'm just really far in. And the thing is that each star has particular colors, its own particular colors, and then how the colors like emit off of it is different for each star. Like one of them will be like spinning, it looks like the colors will be spinning, and then another one there'll be like a lifted part in the center. It looks like kind of like a fried egg would sit there. There's kind of like a lump in the middle. I don't know what we're looking at. Well, I do. I think they're angels, but it's pretty interesting. Like I can sit out there for a couple hours if the mosquitoes aren't bad and just stare, and I'm just switching all my eyepieces, looking and trying it. Yeah.
I remember the first time I saw a star through the P900 when I got my first one, or got my first shot, you know, and zoomed in there. Now you can see why they twinkle. They always say, "Oh, the stars are twinkling," you know. And when you stare at them long enough, you can start to see that they're you know, there's twinkling. But then you zoom in and you see why they're twinkling. You know, it's just amazing. Yep. And I remember the first time I showed my children that, and they were just like, their jaw hits the floor. You know, their jaws hit the floor. They were just like, "No way!" It was so cool to see those for the first time at that close. What stars really look like. I mean, it's still to this day it blows me away when I see the video that DITRH David Weiss put out just today on his channel. You know, the colors are just remarkable.
That's the footage that I took last night, actually. The one that David used.
Oh, he did. Oh, yeah, that is amazing. That is amazing.
If you go
every color.
If you go to my channel, I made a new section, like a new video section on my channel called Stars and Wandering Stars. And I went through a lot of my, you know, older videos or whatever, but I think I've done like 4 of them. I've done Arcturus, however you say it.
Arcturus, yeah.
And then Vega, and Polaris is easy because you just point it. And you know what? Let me tell you guys something weird about Polaris. Okay, I didn't really know anything about it. I zoomed in on it and I seen a little star right next to it, and I'm like, oh, okay, there's 2 stars there. But so that little star should be like the hour hand on a clock, I think. I haven't watched it long enough but that little star should just go around that Polaris, and it's only, I mean, it's like really close to it. But the colors of Polaris are, it's like a lime green, like an emerald green coming off of the outside, and then it's like almost like blood red a little bit in the middle, and then white or whatever. But there's a verse in, I don't remember exactly where it is, in Revelation somewhere, that when John goes up to, or when the doors of heaven were opened and John went up there, I think it was chapter 4, or yeah, 4. And he goes up there and he describes what he saw, and he said it was like the color of a sardine stone, or I don't remember the exact stones, but it's like this color. Oh, never mind. I got black and white. It's like a maroon, like a deep maroon color, kind of. And then and round about the throne was something like a rainbow of an emerald color. And so I'm like, I wonder if we're looking at God's throne, because I know John didn't have a telescope, did he? Way back.
There you go.
You know, interesting stuff. Anyway.
Very, very cool. So no 2 stars are alike, right? Like the snowflake, right? No, everything they're all different. You're not going to find any
way different.
Way different.
They're way different. Like each one can be entirely different.
And obviously we wouldn't have this
seeing anyway. But yeah.
What if well, here's what I'm thinking is we were talking about infrared, and obviously we wouldn't be able to enjoy the colors, I wonder what these would look like. And I don't know if it would make any difference or not, but if we use the infrared lens to zoom in on these, what that would maybe show.
I didn't even think of that.
Just curious.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome. We should.
It wouldn't be as spectacular because we don't have the colors, right? And it's not the visible spectrum, but
yeah, but it'd be nice.
I wonder if we would have more detail or something. I mean, we're not having to cut through a lot of air, but who knows? Yeah, maybe give us some more.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Right. Flat Earth at best, coming together and helping each other.
Oops.
Very cool.
So, it is though, isn't it? And I think it is amazing that you and Alex are going to meet each other.
Yeah, well, we just live on opposite sides of the plane, so yeah, just converging. He has to go a lot farther than I do, so I'm not gonna. He's the one that's traveling thousands of miles. I got one flight from where I live to Denver. It takes about 2 hours, so I got nothing to bark about.
Yeah, he's going to be Alex on the plane.
He's going to be Alex on the plane, yeah, for a while. And I'm glad to hear, Alex, you're coming in early and get adjusted to the time zone change and kind of get settled before your big gig.
Yeah. I don't know where he is. He's muted at the moment. Maybe he's gone to the loo or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Alex, are you there?
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
Yeah. Back. We were just calling you Alex on the plane.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
That icon picture Alex has is just great. I love it. That's just the face he makes when he uses the voice.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh my god, this mute button is playing up on my phone. But yeah, it's going to be a long flight, man. It's going to be a long haul. I'm actually flying from Spain to London, staying there overnight, and then going from one London airport to another London airport, and then doing the 9-hour flight, or however long it is from London to Denver. I'm going to be exhausted when I get there. So yeah, thankfully, I'm going to get there a few days early.
You know what? I am actually going to start asking for sympathy because I totally forgot about this. I'm going to be in Ireland the 3 weeks before the conference, and I'm going to be on a 9-hour flight back to the States, and then the very next day flying to Denver. So I think I'm going to solicit some sympathy too, Alex. I'm right there with you.
Okay, well, we're in the sympathy bin then, no problem. So we're both going to be absolutely exhausted when we meet each other then.
Yep, we're going to be totally knackered. I'm going to need a massage, probably a long nap, and then I might be able to at least shake your hand.
Yeah, I don't think I'll be seeing anybody until the Tuesday, because the Monday, I'm not sure what time I get there, but I know I'm going to be exhausted. I'm going to try and do that thing where you have to stay awake for as long as possible to try and get rid of the jet lag. So I think Tuesday,
exactly.
I'll be doing the social thing on the next day, the Tuesday, I think.
Well, I won't arrive. I'm not arriving until Thursday. So I fly back from Ireland on Wednesday, and then I get on a plane Thursday for Denver. So it's gonna be a little rough, but I still would miss the conference for anything. There's no other place on the plane I would rather be.
The conference starts on the Thursday, doesn't it? Thursday morning.
That's right. No, I get there on Wednesday then. So I get there the day before. So I must fly back from Ireland on Tuesday. I fly to Denver on Wednesday, and then. But again, like I was saying, there's no other place on the plane I'd rather be than Denver those 2 days. No question.
Oh, absolutely. It's going to be, I mean, just even before the conference and after the conference, we're all going to be hanging out together. So it's going to be a real social event.
It is. Yeah, it's a lot more than just those 2 days. Get there early and stay late. You're definitely going to want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go fill my coffee real quick. I'll be right back.
All right, get me one. I need one. Thanks.
So, Paul, can I ask you, because you seem to know quite a bit about cameras, the P1000 I'm thinking of buying. I need to get a new camera anyway to do some more video stuff. So with the P1000, once I've got it, I might start, doing some experiments or just looking at the things in the sky and what have you. But the footage that I've seen of stars and that, once you zoom into a certain point, it kind of gets a bit blurry, really. You can't go any closer. There's limitations to the P900. But with the P1000, are you going to get more clarity the closer you go, or is it just going to be more zoom but still blurred? Do you see what I'm getting at?
Yeah, well, obviously, until I get my hands on it, I can't say definitively. I've only used the P900. And one thing I always want people to realize is that what a camera is doing is not allowing you to see farther. All it is magnifying that part of the sky that you are pointing it at. It's just magnifying it and giving you better resolution. Increasing the angular resolution to your eye is what that technology is doing. Gotcha. But with the optical range, the going from, I don't know what it is. It's going from 84x to 200, right? Optical.
I think it is.
What's the optical range? Because the P900 is 84x optical up to 200x, I think, digital. But what's the optical limit of the P1000?
I think it's 125.
Is it 125x? Okay. And I don't go into the digital very much because that's really where I think the resolution changes. That's where you lose a lot of clarity and it gets blurry. I try to stay for the P900. I try to stay, to 84 times or less. But this is going to give you 60% more zoom in the optical range. So I think it's going to create even more brilliant videos and images and photographs of the stars. No question.
Yeah.
Is it going to be a lot better? I don't know. Incrementally, it's going to be better. I don't know how much though. That's just my thoughts.
But for detail purposes, the P1000 in infrared, like you say, you could lose a lot of the color there, but the clarity to see what's really going on with the stars would be unbelievable. But I think once you convert the camera to infrared, I think you lose some of the other features, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right?
Yeah. Obviously, if you convert the P1000 to infrared, which the first person that does that, I think, is I'll be watching what they produce very closely, because then they're going to be able to magnify, the horizon, 60% better and 60% angular resolution than the P900 can do with its lens, with its capabilities. And then you add the infrared filter, or lens technology in there that's going to then cut through the air. So we should be able to see a lot greater detail on the horizon, let alone like you're talking about, just pointing it up. And I mean, think what the moon's going to look like, with the P1000, being able to see, even greater detail potentially because of the 125x optical zoom.
Yeah, that's going to be. When's that out? September, isn't it? The actual. Are they sold out yet, or?
I don't know. David Dwight just sent me a screenshot today because I think pre-ordered his. I think it's a week.
Sorry to interrupt you. They are out already somewhere in the world. I don't know exactly where they are.
I'm sure some people, some people got their hands on them. I think the people that have pre-ordered them are going to be, I think, getting them within the week.
Yeah. So there's going to be some incredible content coming on YouTube within the next few months.
Yep, the next few weeks, when we get into mid to late September, everybody gets their hands on them and starts getting out and into the field with them. Stay tuned. We're gonna have some fun. Yeah. The ball is getting busted. The ball is going to be completely deflated by the end of September. That's my prediction.
Yeah, it's a globe killer.
It's a globe killer.
Yeah. So how much more do you think it can zoom in? But she's going to get one as well. I thought you won't be looking at it; you'll be in it with the magnification. How much better is it then?
I think it goes from 84x to 125x. What is that? That's it's not 100% better. It's not doubled, but it's it's good 60 2/3, maybe 2/3 better, 60-something% better in magnification, where the resolution that you'll have. So definitely going to be interesting.
To put it into perspective, that Handycam that I took that video of Capella with, that has 10 times digital zoom. So the 125 times, that is outstanding. That is
that's even before you get into before you even get into digital zoom. That's just pure optical zoom. That's remarkable technology.
Before you know it, you're going to be seeing God, and you're going to be saying, "Hey God, say cheese."
No, God is the one doing the Nikon thing, I think.
Well, just think if they actually had that technology, if the Hubble Space Telescope actually existed, what if they had these, this sort of technology on there? They claim they do, obviously, but they don't, because it's not up there. But imagine if we were able to see get up as high as we possibly can, whatever that is, 20 miles or so that we can realistically get up there, and then use the P1000 with an infrared filter, what would we be able to see about our world? It's mind-boggling.
It's flat.
It's already mind-boggling, isn't it?
Yeah. And we'll just continue to confirm that the Earth is flat and stationary.
The more we say,
I'm surprised they're allowing this camera out, to be honest, because it's only going to make things worse for the globe people, isn't it?
I'm very curious if you were able to find out from Nikon, or all their distributors. We wouldn't be able to figure this out, but all the people that pre-ordered it, I wonder how many think the Earth is flat versus that don't. I think we're helping raise the stock price of Nikon.
Yeah, because so many flat earthers will be buying the cameras.
Yeah, well, those like the P900. I think that definitely spurred sales for sure.
It's a good time to get shares in Nikon.
I don't even know. Are they publicly traded? I don't even know if they are.
Not sure.
Or who they're owned by. I have no idea.
I bet you there's flat earthers at Nikon now.
Plus, they know, don't they? They know it's flat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm convinced that there's a lot of people that I won't say know it, but that see what we see, but they're just not vocal about it. They're not out making videos, going on hangouts. They're not out in the middle of Times Square yelling the Earth is flat, on the top of their lungs to complete strangers. Do what Zoom Truth is doing on the boardwalk in Jersey. That's few and far between. But there are, I think that there are, I'd say there's millions of people in this world that go, you know what? I don't know. I haven't looked into it as much as I should have, or what other people are saying and that sort of thing, but it definitely could be, and it wouldn't surprise me. I think there's just millions of people like that.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, yeah, you're right about that. Unfortunately, sorry, it was suddenly just out of my mind. I heard what you said, and then it went out. But anyway, Ditch in the chat room says he can't wait for his camera.
Yeah, for those that are getting the P1000, I haven't ordered mine yet. I haven't decided if I'm going to get one right away yet or not. But I cannot wait to see the first videos that come out, to see, especially like, the stars and the moon, and see what that camera is able to provide as far as video and photographs. I'm really excited to see it. I'll be watching. I'll be looking. Can't wait.
So far in on the moon with the P900, it's going to be ridiculous with the new camera, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's gonna. I can't even imagine it because like when I look with my telescope, I'm still not even magnified like that. I mean, with the 8-inch telescope, that I'm not magnified like near 125. I don't think. I don't really know, but
yeah. What do you two make of Enslaved by No Media with his stuff? Do either one of you watch him or have watched any of his?
Enslaved by Media? Is that
yeah, not very. I'm subscribed. I see videos. I think I've watched a few, but there's just so much great stuff out there. I'm totally behind. I'm sure.
I'm way behind on everybody's videos. Like there's so many that I want to watch, like that are in the back of my mind. I'm like, oh, I gotta watch that. And
I'm always hitting watch later on YouTube, that we can go to watch later and it creates that list for you. Well, that thing, mine is like 150 videos now. I'm never going to get to see all of them. Just keep adding to the list.
No, that should be an encouraging sign for all of us, though, because to be honest, the only way that these people that were trying to show some light, they're not going to accept it until society accepts it. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
we're being bold people right now, and I don't think we all necessarily realize quite how bold we are being in a world that does not see the things we're seeing.
Yep.
They will.
Agreed. I agree. I think more and more people are realizing it every day too. I think we're growing. There's no question. If you guys heard Mark Sargent's speech at the Canada conference, talking about some of the stats. Yeah, I mean, talk about it. If you're not gonna hear that and not leave that feeling just great. That we're making a difference out there and we're affecting so many things in the mainstream and that sort of thing. So it's just really encouraging to hear it. And I think he's spot on.
The Book of Revelation, I'm not trying to talk about it, but I'm just bringing it up. The Book of Revelation has this story in it. And the world ain't that. We're here for a reason, inspired by this truth and seeing things that other people aren't seeing for a reason, a very good reason. So they might not accept it like in a conversation or something, but we all know this. If we just manifest the idea to them, that's all really what we have to do. It's up to them beyond that. And of course we can encourage them to search things out and seek truth. But a lot of people, I think, do you guys remember what it was like before you saw flat earth? I'm just saying, like, before you started seeing all these lies, like before 9/11, let's say, or back a little ways. Do you remember what that's like? I do. And that's one reason why I do get frustrated with that side of things. But at the same time, I couldn't have seen it 5 years ago. So I would have laughed at it, and maybe I put my pride down, or whatever you want to call it. But I think a lot of people have to do it in a closet. They have to do it on their own, quietly, and accept it. Maybe over a course of a couple of years, I don't know. But
agreed.
The Bible story is a little troubling to me because in Revelation, at the end, the things that must come to pass, the whole world was deceived at the very end. And then an angel was going to seal 144,000 people with the seal of the living God. And then they were going to start preaching a new gospel to the world for a few years. I think that's, I know that's happening, but it's a super deep subject too.
Yeah, for sure. I think it all ties together. No question. I think you're right on.
We're sitting in a position that we have to handle responsibly because of the weight of the thing we're doing. And 2 years ago, I didn't understand any of this. I mean, I understand the flat earth thing, but I didn't understand the Bible aspect of what's happening. And I truly believe that just as it's written, it's happening. And I mean, even like SpaceX and Elon Musk, I see them in the Bible. I see Elon Musk to be the bad guy that people call the Antichrist, but the son of perdition, or the man of sin or lawlessness or whatever. He's got lots of little names too. But yeah, they see these horns, they see 10 horns, and they fly up to heaven and cast the stars down. And he's just like Daniel describes the logo on the side of the Falcon 9 or the Falcon Heavy, that little 2-horn, I don't think I have one here, but little 2-horn logo. He describes that very specifically in Daniel 8 verse 3. And then following that, he describes all the stage separations in like 2,000-year-old speak. You know what I mean?
Wow. Is that the chevron vector symbol you're talking about?
Well,
the 2 little horns.
No, not that one. It's actually the Falcon 9 rocket is the one that lands back on Earth. Or the one that lands back on Earth. Well, yeah. The Bible in Revelation, it says that there's a beast that comes up out of the earth, and he has 2 horns like a lamb, and he speaks as a dragon. And then the dragon gives the power to this other beast, and I think it's just the ISS, because it even says that they that dwell on the earth shall wonder, like be mesmerized, when they behold the beast that was and is not. So what it does is there's people that are from the foundation of the world living on this earth right now. Like they were manifest here in a human body. I mean, we're just living lives just like any other human, but we were from before, I think. And I don't really know how to comprehend that because I think being bound by time and everything, but we were like sent here on a mission from God. It's deep. But the people that wonder at that beast, when they look at it, they don't have their name in the book of life from the foundation of the world. So they're at the end anyway, in Revelation, there's 144,000 people that are actually children of God or sons of God or sons and daughters of God. And Isaiah talks about it. They're gonna come forth from every country and declare former things and bring the blind by a way that they knew not, make crooked things straight. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff like that. So it's written. It's written. All the old prophets wrote about, I believe, us, like specifically.
Prophecy of this time. Yep.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, there's a lot of people that aren't taking this, as seriously as I am. I'm not saying you guys. I'm just saying maybe some younger people they don't even understand that they've been inspired with this truth. They just think they're getting smart. Yeah, no, you're a dumb sheep or whatever. There's no curvature. It's like kind of like a attitude, and I'm not ripping on anybody. I'm just saying, I'm just encouraging everybody to remember, to keep that in the front of our minds that we were just a few years ago, we were seeing the same way everybody else is. So, because I know I take it for granted, and that's when I find myself getting frustrated with people that aren't able to either comprehend or even look at the things that I want to present. I always have to kind of stop myself and remember that to show some empathy, you know what I mean, for them.
Yeah, that's a really good thing.
While they're swearing at you and calling you a moron, idiot, just soak it up, because we have this authority. And actually, that's in Isaiah 2. It says, I, the Lord, have called thee in righteousness, and will hold thine hand and keep thee, and give thee as a covenant for a light to the Gentiles, to open blind eyes, to remove prisoners from the prison, and them that sit in darkness out of the prison house. That's what we're doing. And it was prophesied so clearly. I never saw it in the Bible until it happened. And the disciples, Jesus's disciples, the same thing would happen to them. They wouldn't realize something, and then all of a sudden, once it was fulfilled, then they'd go, oh, then they'd see it in the Word. And that's kind of what's happening with this flat Earth thing. I didn't see it in the Bible, but I'm not saying that the Bible describes the cosmology of Earth to be a flat Earth with a dome, but that's not the topic I'm getting at. I'm saying more the book, the revelation of Jesus Christ. That's what it is. It's that book is playing out. So, I love it.
Well, I have trouble having empathy for those people that do ridicule and insult, because we all at one point in time were quote unquote asleep, however you want to describe it, But when this when this came into our consciousness and we decided to go investigate it, we didn't spend our time, and maybe some of us did, but I didn't. I didn't go on I didn't go on flat Earth hangouts and shows or whatever and insult and ridicule, and even at the point where I was still laughing at it. I mean, I would. That's not.
You went to learn. You went to learn because you're like.
Yeah, I had to go. Yeah. I think that's what an intellectually mature person does. Is they go, here's some new information. I'm not gonna belittle this and make fun of people that believe it until I know what I'm even talking about. I got to see why people would believe that in today's world. That was my whole perception of this thing. And a couple months goes by.
You're just being logical about it. You're like, okay, maybe I'm not the smartest person in the world. I better see what people are presenting and maybe what's the word I'm looking for? Like reevaluate my take on things. There's nothing that you don't have to even put your pride down for that. We don't know everything in this world.
Be willing to change your point of view based on new information. That's like a novel concept now. Like people just don't think that they can't change their mind. It's like, it's okay to change your mind. It's new information. You know, you didn't see it before. Now you do. It's okay. You know, it doesn't make you a bad person. It doesn't make you dumb or stupid. It's just, it's new. I get it. Relax.
And then the other thing too is that these some of these people that are, you know, I don't know what to call them, rude and worthless. I'm just kidding. Rude to you when you're having a conversation about like an observation or something. You're like, why are you calling me names, or why are you saying, you know, bringing up other things when we're really just talking about a measurement, or we're really just talking about how to observe something accurately, or, you know, we're talking about science. Where does
really,
you know?
Yeah, that really opened my eyes and made me want to investigate further when I saw people's reaction to this new information, seeing how they reacted so swiftly and decisively and with so much anger and, you know, being and insulting and frustrating. I was like, there's got to be something to this to get to solicit a reaction like that. And my conclusion now is that that's obviously the programming, you know, that we were, you know, programmed to react that way, or by and large, you know, that's what a majority of people do.
Born into it. So that was normal for us to accept these things. Everyone around us was. I mean, I was just thinking last night about, and I can remember not a specific time, but I can remember this feeling in school, in elementary school even, when I'd kind of look around because the teacher would be saying something, and I'd be like, I do not get this. I do not get this in my, you know, and I'd be looking around and everybody else is just like going normal, like they understand it. So I'm telling myself, well, just zip your lip and you'll get it eventually, or whatever. You'll understand it. Or they tell you live on a globe that's spinning, and basically they're taking a hammer and just beat it into your head from the ages of 4 till 8, and then you're lost.
And then they just kind of reinforce it, tease it, you know, throughout the rest of your life, you know, with you know, movies and TV and all that, and you just kind of continue to reinforce that, and you get NASA out there, and you know, it's just very simple. It's a system. It's a system to get you to believe a certain way, and we are duped basically to just believe the word of men. We believe whatever we read or see or hear. That's what we're taught to do, and that's the way it works, you know. And it's no surprise why we are here where we are now, because it's a system. It's designed to do this. Yeah, it's just the way the system is designed, and it works.
It's just the prince of the power of the air, basically. I mean, he's behind all these things, that anything that's deception. That's the name of his game.
Yeah, there's no way that this could be kept up for centuries or millennia. No,
you know,
no,
it's
spiritual.
But
it's spiritual.
Yeah, and that's the other thing too, is like I was having a conversation on Facebook with someone. They said something about Neil deGrasse Tyson lying or making a good check and lying or something, and I had to go in there and say, hey, you're not being very logical. There is not. Okay, Jeff Williams, is it the astronaut? I have a video on my channel where there's a pastor guy that interviewed him to ask him if the Earth was flat or a globe. And
oh yeah, I think I remember seeing that. It was in a church too, wasn't it, or something? He was interviewing in front of a congregation.
And here's what I got out of it. It's frustrating. I get frustrated and then I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Well, hey, Karen, I have got a meeting coming up in a couple of minutes, so I unfortunately am going to have to check out here soon, but I wanted to say thanks again to everybody and for having me on. It's been awesome. I love spending my afternoons talking about this stuff. I wish I could do it more, but duty calls. I got some work I got to get done before the dinner hour. And thanks again, Karen, for having me on. And Joe, it was a pleasure to talk to you. And Alex, pleasure always. Astral, I'm sure I'm missing some other folks that chimed in, but thanks again, everybody. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's great talking to you.
But anyway, thank you so much, Paul. Always nice to have you on.
Yeah, thanks, Paul.
Yeah,
all the best, Paul. Speak soon, man.
You keep doing those awesome videos, brother. They're awesome.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. And don't forget to listen to TFR on Tuesday night so you can hear more about the artificial penis.
I knew you were going to say it one more time.
You just like saying.
Okay, I just totally wanted to get a parting shot in there. And then also, don't forget to listen to the Flat Earth Podcast.
TFR.
That's right. All right. Hope to see you guys soon, and hope to see a lot of you in Denver. Oh, let me just say this. I just totally forgot. I should have said this, and you can do this with David's the FE podcast too. But if you're going to Denver and you need to get your tickets, you can use the promo code. That website is fe2018.com, and you can use the promo code Paul on the Plane or the FE podcast, and you get a 10% discount off your tickets. So if you're going, get the discount.
Whoa, thank you.
And Solancha, I see somebody in Chris Lamb. I see Chris in chat saying Solancha. So I'm headed to Ireland soon. So Solancha to you too, brother.
Solancha.
Do you go across the plane quite often then? I mean, I always thought that when you were flying, it was in America. So you do Europe and as well.
Occasionally, got family in over in Ireland. So go over there at least once a year.
Anyway, thank you. I know you want to leave. Thank you so much, though, Paul.
Thanks for everything. I had a great time, and stay flat. All right, everybody. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Have a good one, Paul. Nice talking to you.
Hey, boys. Oh, and Patricia, she's there as well. So I'm not sure if Patricia's got a P900. I can't remember now. She's got a nice camera she wants to take pictures on. Yeah, sorry, I didn't really speak to you, Alex. How are you, Alex? People in the chat room, Loopy was saying, "Where's Alex? You have him on?" And then think there you were.
Oh my God, that's synchronicity. I'm fine, thank you, Karen. I haven't asked how you are. How are you?
Oh, I'm okay, thanks. Great. It's been a great hangout, and yeah, I really enjoyed that. And yes, Paul, thank you, Paul. He's just been writing something in the chat room. Yeah, so you're music mad at the moment, I think, aren't you? You've been putting some videos out, haven't you?
Oh God! I just want to say hello to Loopy in the chat. Then, by the way, hey man, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing this video for Space is Fake, and I'm 2 months into it. My other videos have taken like a month to finish, but this one has got so much information in it. Actually, it's going to include as well your paused astronaut footage as well, so that's going in there. So you can look out for that.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just trying to put into this video as much space fakery as possible. There's so much going on in the video. You know, it's a 7-minute video, and like 3 seconds you'll see a bit of space fake footage. Another 3 seconds, a bit. So it's just in your face, just all the way through it. That's why it's taking so long, because I'm having to do a lot of editing and put myself in there as well as another character that I'm playing in the video. It's just taking ages, but when it gets released, oh man, it's going to be so worth it. It's going to be my swan song. It's going to be the best video, but there is so much space fakery in there. It's going to be awesome.
Oh, well, maybe that's what you.
You can't call it a swan song, Alex. That's the wrong term. Is that not when you just demised or something? Is that not like your farewell song?
Well, yeah, farewell. I mean, it's the farewell video for this album, because I'm not sure there's going to be.
Right, off the album. Then it's cool enough. I thought you meant like as a musician in Flat Earth music and what have you. You know, no way.
No, I'm certainly going to be taking a break after it, because this has been a year in the making, and it takes up so much time, and then it just makes me neglect other areas of my life, which is a shame. I mean, if there is going to be a second album, I'm not sure if I'm going to be doing videos for them, because they just take up so much time, or I'm going to have to start working with somebody else who's good at video editing. I love doing the music part of it. That's what I excel at. But the videos, okay, you know, some would say, yeah, you're good at the videos, but man, you've got to understand how much time goes into these things. And so I've got to make some decisions as to whether I'm going to be doing more video stuff in the future. But if there's anyone out there that's awesome with video editing and wants to do it completely free of charge, then give us a shout.
Hey. Yeah, they do take a long time, videos. I don't know how. It's same for you, Joe. Yeah, because you make videos, I make videos, so do you, Alex, and they take hours. And even when you think, oh, it's only 2 or 3 minutes long, it'll only take a minute. It doesn't. It takes
a long time.
Yeah.
Unless you do them like me and hack them through it just to get them out. That's what I do. I'm what do they call that? I'm a hack. Yeah, I'm a hack. I'm a video hack.
Well, I've got a 7-minute video that's so far taken me 2 months. So, Christ, man, I can't keep doing that. It's crazy.
It's a lot of editing.
Yeah, and it's green
Especially
screen
for yours.
as well, you know. It's the green screen stuff, and there's so much stuff that ends up on the cutting room floor. You know, I'll record a scene over and over again, and by the time I get it into my editor, I think, oh no, that looks crap, man. I need to record that again, or something's out of frame, or you know, something goes wrong. It's just again and again and again. It's quite repetitive, but once
the harness stuff like that. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. A harness fail. That's all you want.
You have to put a harness in one of your videos and be like float by or something.
Yeah, do you know what? I would kill to have a proper harness. I just haven't got the room in studio. I haven't got the budget to spend $1,000 on one of those professional harnesses, you know. But that would be so funny for a video.
You gave me a great idea there. You know, like when they have down Hollywood on the catwalk and stuff, where they have these like what they call them, wardrobe slips or nipple slip. You could have one of those with a harness slip, a NASA harness slip video.
Yeah, your videos. The first one that I saw, well, obviously the first one you did, it just blew my mind because I'm just going, where did he come up with the idea to do this? You're very creative, very.
Oh, thank you. Which one are you talking about specifically? Because there's a few.
I don't remember it was a while ago. I mean, I think it was the first one maybe that you did, or the first one I saw, and you were in the ISS. And if you said the song, I'd remember it.
Yeah. Puppet. It's called Puppet Show, and there's a scene in that which is my favorite. It's so funny, and I went to the local hardware shop and I bought a bunch of elastic, and I tied the elastic to my hands and my feet. And
okay,
to the ceiling, and it looks like I'm a puppet. And that gets me every time.
You had it tied around your legs, and you were like,
yeah, exactly.
Awesome.
That's mockery at its finest.
But you know the funny thing is, I think your quality is a little bit more believable.
Yeah, I mean, if I had NASA's budget, imagine what I could pull off, man. I'm only using iMovie. Imagine if I had Final Cut Pro and After Effects and shit like that. Whoa.
Yeah, I use Windows Media Maker or Movie Maker.
We all have that on our computer, but it just takes too long to render the thing. I've got my own little video thing. But sometimes when you have to, you know, like something's there and it's like you say, it's just not right, and you've got to do it again, and you think, oh no, or it jumps, something happens, the internet does something, the music, something jumps, and that really annoys me. And you spend so long on something, and then something on the computer makes you what you're recording jump. Then you got to do it again.
All the time. Mine will just start doing the little buffering thing, and then no buttons work, and then I have to shut it down. And then a lot of times when I restore it, it doesn't have what I spent all my time working on. So I like every time I do something, I have to go save it. Yeah, whatever. I think I'm getting the point across. That's really all I'm concerned with.
Yeah, when you came on last time, I just done that little video about when you were taking your camera out to the hill so you could see, you know, what was it called again? I'm sorry, I'm a bit tired today. I work and my mind's just not working in gear today. What was it called again? Because I called it.
Was it the one with the fans or with the generator fan things?
Well, it's like you can see water on the road, but it's not. It's just.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a screen share and play it? Because I got another thing open. I can't.
Don't.
What's that?
I'll put it onto Alex for a moment, just while you put your screen on.
Okay, I'll find it here.
Hori showed our link for us the other day, and we had to start again.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's just I wish they'd take that error out of the Hangouts.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of problems with Google Hangouts. Where is that? Yeah, it's something. I guess what I was calling it was like angular resolution.
That's it.
When can you see me or my screen?
We can see you.
Okay. Well, you see this card I have? When I'm looking at it like this, obviously I can see everything on it. But well, actually, I can do it with the camera almost. You can see it, right? But as I go like this and tip it, if you know, anything here is going to be getting less and less visible, obviously. And then at a certain point, it becomes invisible. When if it was 90 degrees or whatever, and then what you have is anywhere on the ground, anywhere, whether it's whether it's hot tar and cooler air, or it's water and whatever it is, there's thicker atmosphere down here than there is 100, 200 feet up. So I think that plays a big part. Let me see here. But as you go down, you can start to see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so how would I do a screen share? Or how would I?
You go to the little green arrow on your panel on the left.
I remember now.
Don't press you press application window.
Yep, and I have another box open for that. I remember that from last time. I'm just trying to remember how to do all that.
The camera's on you at the moment, just to make sure.
Okay. And whoops, it's oh, I gotta pick a window. Oh, here we go. Okay, I should be sharing now, right? I think I am.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotta find it wherever I put it. Okay, there we are. I suppose I'll just play from the beginning so you can see what I made. Okay, so here's the device I made. It's just a metal plate welded to a full extension drawer slide, and then I welded a little tab on it. Right. Try to show it to you. Welded a tab to mount the camera. So it's pretty simple. And it goes from about 3 feet, it's about, I don't know, 33 inches or something, down to the ground. So I was just stepping on it with my foot like that and lifting it up and down. Quite simple. Okay, I'm zoomed way in, and I made a slide, a device that holds my camera and lowers it smoothly from about 3 feet down to 0. Look at what we see. As we go down, those angles become invisible to us because they're too small of an angle. Yes, these atmospheric, you know, the thick atmosphere down here can make things change too, but this is a different phenomenon. Watch this. Watch this car. Let's see if I can do this. I'm going to try to lower it as the car's coming by, and you'll actually see the, now maybe you won't be able to see it. Okay. See how you can see the pebbles on the road sticking up? Just the little rocks? There. That's better, isn't it? So yeah, I noticed that, whoops, uh-oh. I noticed that, okay, I thought I was going to start playing.
Okay. You're okay.
I'm back. Okay. Yeah, I noticed that I was riding my motorcycle, and I noticed that if I just moved my head up or down like 2-3 inches, I could make that mirage thing on the road, you know, up in front of me. I could make it like drastically change. And I said, well, how is that possible? And it's literally our retina or whatever. I'm not some technical guy with the human body, but however the light comes into our eyes and is registered, we can only, there's a certain angle there's a certain angle that you just can't see it anymore. And what you're going to see is a mirror. You're going to see it's just because the light's just going to bounce off of whatever's there, because you're not at the angle to see the surface of it anymore. Now you're seeing it like looking across 20 miles of lake, you know what I mean? Or So as you lower the camera, I don't know if you saw where kind of closer to the camera, you can see the little pep sticking up. There, you know, a 1/4 inch or 3/8 of an inch, a little rock sticks up above that. So it's like it's not only the low layer atmosphere and the, you know, the I don't know what the right word is, but the heat and the wavy refraction and everything coming off the road, that is a factor. But this is another thing that I'm noticing, I think.
I always thought that it was through oils, you know, from the cars, you know.
And that's the thing too, is I had a conversation about it with someone, and they brought up an interesting point. They said, if we had a big enough vacuum where we could get a long enough, where we could basically duplicate that angle, that that they thought that it wouldn't exist in the vacuum. But I said I think it would, because I think it's a visual thing, and there's you know, atmospheric things happening too. But I think with that slide thing, and I want to do a better video, because that one I just drove out to a road that I thought would work and just did it quick. But I'd like to go to a road that's really flat and spend a few minutes there, you know. But is that that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah, because and also I've put out your the turbine video.
Yeah. Yep. That's I don't know why people can't see that when they look. I mean, if you pretend the turbine is a boat and it's really tall right next to you, when it sails away, it's going to look just like them fans. And yeah, that's another thing too, is today someone said to me, oh, well, what did they say? It was about curvature on water. And they said, well, water is level, but it's not flat. And I said, sorry, you're gonna have to do science, and you're gonna have to continue your search, because for 3 years we have been doing the science and we've proved it. So when you say that Earth is curved and there's 3 miles from you at a 6-foot elevation, 3 miles from you is where you're not going to be able to see ground anymore past that. But I can see the ground 18 miles away. How does that work? And then they you know, it's a conflict in their mind, but I don't even think that it's a very powerful delusion that we're seeing here, because these are very easily observable things, and they're not controversial things.
There is a spell, there is tides. We do get that, but yeah.
Can I say an easy way to visualize perception? Very simple, and I did this for my kids as well, you know, to do with like comparison, like bodies and who's in front of who kind of thing. Draw a line horizontal and draw a stick person on the line, and then you put the head of the stick person exactly the same size, the head on the line down underneath the line, you know, and then you can put the top of the head on the line next to that person. So you've got 3 people the same size. Now you have a perception of who's in front of who, you know, and it's a simple way of doing it. If you put the heads at the same height, or if you put the feet at the same height, there's another way of doing it.
And you can just go that distance and say, well, at this distance, you're not going to be able to see their head anymore on a globe. But we all know that you can just see them. But I mean, the lake that I go to up here, it's Mille Lacs Lake, and it's I think it's 19.1 miles, or it's 21.1. I think it's 19.1 miles at pretty much the longest point. And a convenient thing is it's got kind of an angled side, and so if you go to the east side and you look west, you can go from about 5 miles all the way up to about 17 or 16 miles, because the shore's kind of angled. And there's houses along the shore, and there's boat houses along the shore, and there's water towers a 1/4 mile away from the shore of the lake, and there's nothing missing. So I don't know. It's that they won't make an observation with their eyes and their senses to perceive their reality. They're against it. They hate truth. They don't know it.
You can zoom across some water, miles of water, and zoom into their feet on the other side of the beach. There's something wrong, isn't there? What they've told us.
Yes, definitely. And like one of the examples is looking across the lake. It's like 15.5 miles to this radio tower, but the radio tower is like a mile past the shore. So it's like 14.5 miles or something to the shore. And there's these little houses on the shore. And I had my camera at least 14 miles away. And I touched my camera to the water's surface. And it actually, a wave came in and my camera got all wet, my P900. And, but I have the video and it was calm water. And with my camera touching the water, I can see the houses 14 miles away that are right on the shore. There's nothing being obscured whatsoever. And I'm talking about crystal clear video of these things.
There's so many proofs nowadays. There are that many proofs. You could make a calendar and have a new photograph every day of a flat earth proof taken from, you know, a camera, you know, from a specific location or whatever on the earth, obviously.
We have the advantage of all the technology. We have the top-notch technology in history that we know of. Nobody's had these kind of cameras available, so readily available to make these observations. People would have telescopes and things, but it just wasn't in the front of everyone's mind. And then once we discovered a few years ago what's going on, yeah, there's really no words to describe what's happening. It's divine. That's what's happening.
I'd like to say something else as well. It's been a nice day. All the people on today, like Alex is going to meet Paul, and you know, Paul uses Alex's music. You like Alex's music. It just goes on. We're all helping each other. Ditra made a video of your stuff. He put it out on his channel today, didn't he? The Star.
Yeah. That was cool. I was glad he did that.
Yeah, people are beginning to know who you are, Joe.
Well, the important thing is not me. It's that we just keep putting truth information out. And I mean, we're not going away, and it's only growing. There's no flat earther that's not a flat earther anymore. Well, maybe, I don't know. Doubt it though. What I'm getting at is it's a growing number and a growing number only. And the more of us that grow into it, the more voices. So it's going to be, like I was saying on Facebook one time, or just a couple days ago, I shared a post. Someone had posted in disgust because there was an article that said 1/3 of the millennials believed that the earth is flat. And his post was like, oh, we're doomed. This world's screwed. Nobody's whatever, you know, thinking flat earthers are dumb. And so I shared it. But 1/3 in 3 years. And I don't know if it's an accurate stat or not. I'm not really concerned with that. What I'm saying is, if there's an article written in the public that says that, there's definitely an amount of millennials that believe the earth is flat. So when 3 years ago, there was 0, right?
Yeah,
so what about 5 years? What about 6 years? We live on a flat earth now.
I'd like to say something, Joe. Ditra says play the video that he's mirrored.
Oh, to play his video?
Yeah, of your Star.
I will go to it. Let me grab it before I screen share, just so.
Yeah, I'll just take you off. I'll just put you on Alex. And also, while you're finding that, okay. I was wondering whether I could ask you something. I don't know whether you were watching or have seen it with Chris UK, who's would like everybody to finish this experiment that he's going to do, but he needs to do it. It's the light viewing thing to take pictures so that everybody will have the same sort of box, and then we can work out how far the stars and that are away. But I just wondered if I sent you his experiment and maybe you could help with that, maybe, Joe.
Definitely, I'd love to do that. anything that I can help with observations, I mean, they're easy to make, and the more we have, the more we know. The more we share with them, the more we know, really.
So great knowing such brilliant people who and we can all help each other. So after this, I will email Chris UK and say that, because you send me your email address. I might have it.
FedUpWorld@gmail is what I'm using for this kind of stuff. So EFTUPWORLD@gmail.
I haven't sent you a Hangout with it in, so you can, or I'll send you. Maybe I'll send you the video. Actually, there's a shorter one, so you can see his expression.
Yeah, I'll watch it for sure. Maybe send it in Messenger or whatever works. Do you want me to? I got David's video ready.
Okay, then just in case, back on Alex.
What was that?
I'll just move it over to Alex for a second while you put it up. But you were pretty good last time.
I think I've got it ready. If you want, I can screen share.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Hopefully I have it. Yeah, I got it right here. All right, I gotta find it now. Okay, hopefully you can see that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I like he makes awesome videos. Research flat Earth.
Amazing colors.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? It almost, to me, it almost looks like it's spinning. Like the colors are spinning. I don't really know how to explain it, but you know what I'm saying? It really interesting. I would love to see one of those stars with one of those infrared cameras. That would be awesome.
It's amazing it keeps changing shape and everything, and sort of it's just like it's constantly.
You cut out there a little, I think, or I did, or whatever. I couldn't hear you.
It's just amazing that it keeps changing shape and doing things every second.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to my channel quick, and then maybe in a minute I can screen share something else. Just another star. What was it called? Vega. That one was, I don't know if you guys saw that. That was so cool. It's like purple and green and white, and I don't know. There's just something interesting about these stars. Let's see, Vega. Okay. Whoops. Do you mind if I do another screen share? I can show you that one too. It's basically the same type of video. Oops. I'm working on it here. I'm getting better at this, aren't I, Karen?
You are.
Isn't that cool? You guys can see that, right?
You realize that you're black and white, your screen. You're in black and white.
Yeah. Can you guys see the Vega one right now?
No.
Oh, I did something wrong then. Hold on.
I'm just going to put it on Alex then. If you're going to do something.
Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what I did wrong. I think I forgot to hit the screen share. I forgot to hit the share button. So I'm ready if you want me to go.
Go on then. Please go.
All right. Hopefully I got it right now. Whoops. Go go forward. I went back a page. Okay, here we go. I just left the sound off. It's down in the corner, kind of coming towards. So I was zooming in kind of as it was coming into the frame. So it'll kind of disappear, but it'll come back. Yeah, I don't know. Very interesting. What are we looking at?
I don't know.
Well, that looked like an angel swimming underwater.
Yeah,
it kind of looked like animals in water, doesn't it?
Oh, last night the moon, when it was coming up kind of close to the horizon, it looked like it was underwater through the telescope. It was crazy. Did I stop sharing? I hope I did.
Yeah, you have. They're all so different, aren't they?
Yep. Each one has a specific, like, few colors or whatever, but that Capella one has like rainbow. Has like, it looks like Astral, it looks like his thumbnail.
Every color. Well, I mirrored a video which is out on Sun and Moon to say that the stars aren't very far away. This balloon camera was about 17 miles up, and obviously it's because everything is in the dark because it's a nighttime one and you're up with the moon. To watch it in the dark, but you can see the stars are below the camera, and the way the camera's going, it's like we're in Star Trek. That you know, that the camera's whizzing past, these stars are whizzing past the camera. I mean, the camera's not really whizzing that fast, is it? For the stars to be camera, so the stars aren't very far away. Some of them are higher, aren't they? But some of them are right in front of us, just miles up. So it's all a bit crazy, isn't it? Especially, oh, you're muted.
Thank you. Sorry about that. I was just saying, for all these years, I went like 37 years before I saw the truth. And when I look back on that, all these things that I'm learning now, seeing now, they just weren't there before. They just weren't there. They weren't a possibility. They weren't anything that went through my mind. And then a few years ago, all of a sudden now I'm like obsessed with truth. And I mean, most of us are, but it's inspired by someone else or by a higher power. And so that's what I keep telling people, because it's easy to get discouraged doing what we're doing. And the people around us, like, that maybe aren't doing the same things or whatever, but have the same eyes. A lot of those people are very having a trouble. You know, they're having not a good time in their life, and I understand that. So it's like I keep telling people that in Isaiah, especially in the Bible, we're called to do this by the God that made this world, and He said, "You guys are going to preach a message for me." And because this world is lost, this world doesn't know what truth is. And it's like, I can't even comprehend that we're doing it, but it's happening. So.
I also have a video out on Sun and Moon. I feel really bad because I watch so many. I'm not so good at names. And this is this lady, she's a medium, and she regresses people. And when she regresses them, she asks them sets of questions, and they always say the same thing, that they chose to come here to help save the place we're living on now as humans. And she was saying that there's 3 waves of people that have been sent. The first wave were just sent, and it was a bit like, she said, well, how would you feel if you've come from the source and then you're sent here? These people are being, they're just being here. The second wave, so the first wave probably are in their 60s, 70s, and 80s now. The second wave will be in their 50s, 40s, and 30s. They're antennas. And it kind of is like that for all the people, you know, like each one of us just the information, what we're doing, the experiments, the things that we're knowing, maybe the things we're seeing. And then the third generation probably are about, I don't know, late teens, 20s into 30s. And she reckoned that those were going to save the world. Those would be the ones. It's the children of that lot. But she was basically saying that everybody, we've all chosen to be here. We've come to help. Those
I see what you're saying. You're saying like we what was the word? Not we weren't recruited. We volunteered. You're saying in a way.
Yeah, we've all chosen to come here.
And you know what the weird thing is that we won't remember this necessarily. So that I'm getting my story out of the Bible, and it's I believe that it is literally what's happening is that we're being actually like taken on a class. We're taking a class, and the reason is because the world doesn't know what truth is. Because of the evil here that's deceived, and I think the only thing that's going to happen, I don't think that the world's going to accept this truth that we're preaching, and that there will be a moment in time when we are taken out of here, like supernaturally, and then there's destruction that'll come on the earth for 42 months. But it's not going to destroy the earth, but the firmament, the stars will all fall to the ground. And it, like in Revelation, people will all hide under the rocks and they'll go underground because they'll look up and they'll see God's throne with their eyes. And they'll say, hide us from the one who sits on the throne, because of the evil that this world is, and all these people that we're talking to, and we're presenting simple truths to these people, and they reject it. They're rejecting God. I'm not saying they're saying I don't believe in God, but what they're doing is they're rejecting the God of the Bible, and that's a choice anyone can make to go whatever. It's not something I am even necessarily concerned with getting in someone else's thoughts.
It's really strange how, like all of us must be sensitive people in the first place. That's what I reckon. The really sensitive ones definitely have woken up. So why didn't we all see it when we were younger, to suddenly see it? And I'm wondering whether, like, I just caught these words on a video the other day about something like this person was saying, the Mandela effect is kind of only here for those that have woken up. Because how come we didn't see it? Alex, what about you? How come we didn't see it and then we do see it? And it's so different, it's the complete opposite.
I don't know. It could be down to a bunch of things, couldn't it? I mean, is it a spiritual awakening? Is it an energetic force that's forcing us to wake up, or is it just that we're, now starting to question things in our adult life or whatever? I don't know the answer to that, to be honest with you. I can only speak from personal experience. I do feel like my entire life has been leading to this point and this kind of music, so I do feel like it's by my destiny to get a bit deep about it. But what the general awakening is, what to describe that is very, very difficult. Is it biblical? Yeah, it could well be. I mean, I'd love to have a timeline on it, but what it is, I don't know. All I can tell you is that what I'm seeing around in my own experience is just this massive awakening.
Can I read a couple of verses that speak about this?
Yeah.
Just if you guys aren't familiar, it's like it might be like very enjoyable for you to hear some of these things. Jesus, when he was here, before he got crucified, he was talking to his disciples and telling them, he was telling them that he was going to send a spirit at the end. He's going to send the spirit of truth. And I'll just read the verse. It's John 16, verse 13. Howbeit when he, the spirit of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth. For he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, that shall he speak. And he will show you things to come. He shall glorify me, for he shall receive of mine and shall show it unto you. Okay, so that's one thing. Another one is in Revelation 14. John sees up on Mount Zion, wherever that is, he sees 144,000 people standing there with Jesus in the middle of them, like in their midst. And these people were singing a new song that the world couldn't learn. So that's interesting stuff too. And they sung, as it were, a new song before the throne and before the 4 beasts and elders, and no man could learn that song but the 144,000, which were redeemed from the earth. So I think, yeah, the spirit of truth is what we have. And, you know, this is the Bible, and I believe it. But I know a lot of people have a problem with the Bible, and that's fine. But at a certain point, when the Bible, like every day, the Bible is getting closer to the reality that we're seeing. Do you know what I mean? Like we're going back to the old way, but the old way was actually the correct way. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's, oh, you know what? That's another one. I got to read one more verse. One more thing that Jesus said. His disciples asked him, they were in private, and they asked him, what will be the sign of your return? You know, how will we know when you're coming back? And it's in Matthew 24, and he says a lot of things that are like kind of alarming, but 24 verse 14, he says, and this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. We're preaching that gospel, you guys. Whether we know it or not, we're doing it. So but yeah, in the Revelation story, only those 144,000 were able to come out of that worldwide deception. So but that's why God sent those 144,000 people to grow up in human bodies and to do this, because because he loves the world. God loves everybody here, and he's sending us and giving us. Like, has anyone noticed that your life is kind of like not really what it used to be? I'm not saying that we don't enjoy our lives. I'm saying that we don't have any credibility. I mean, I barely have a relationship with my family and friends. It's all changed. And I believe that is overcoming the world. We're copying what Jesus did, is what I think. But yeah, I kind of rambled on there for a minute.
It is a bit strange, but you can't really get into the globe world when you don't believe it. Everything changes. I bet we all stay at home a bit more now. What do we go out and sit with the drunk globe heads? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's just me.
And also, what our time is spent much differently than it used to be. And I don't care who you are. I mean, if you're seeing with these eyes, like mostly what I do is soak in information. That's what I've been doing for 3 years. Just like I'm an open sponge, just soaking up information. That would probably be the best. And then of course I'm putting it out, but I'm just saying. And Daniel, the prophet, he was told that many, or what was it? Yeah, people will move to and fro on the earth, and knowledge will increase before the end. I think knowledge is increasing in just a small group of people that are.
Can I ask you something, Joe?
Yeah.
Have you thought of any sort of correlation between the Bible, what you read in the Bible, as being allegory, and then the stories and the pictures that you see, depicted and, reading from, I'm going to go to like occultism and hermetism, alchemy, and those kind of things that depict more or less the spirit within man, that's trying to tell you and teach you how to find, your own Christ within. That Christ isn't going to come down and say, hey, you've all been naughty, you guys, and you're going to get sent to wherever. You've been bad, and then you guys, you're all good. You've 144, you can come with me. I don't quite think it's like that in a sense, but I think, this is just my own take. allegory, that the Bible is full of stories, and it's more to do with finding your own inner Christ, you know, your own inner God, and that's your pineal gland reaching your enlightenment that way. That's what I believe anyway.
I've heard that, and you know, obviously I can't say that, oh, I know the spiritual world and everything that's going on more than anybody else. So no, you know what I mean? I have my own beliefs, and you have your own beliefs, so that's cool. I think people should be able to have different beliefs, like conflicting beliefs, and still be good friends. That beliefs are something we believe. We don't know. We believe, right? But yeah, I've heard that before, and I think that if I had a few minutes with you sometime to go over just a couple verses, you'd be able to see Elon Musk and SpaceX and the shuttle program and the ISS in here, because it's all described in here, more complex and more detailed than I can even explain to people. Like
I think that would be a great video to make if you could put that into video form.
Yeah, I actually have countless videos on this topic of the revelation of Jesus Christ, or basically the whole Bible is just speaking to me. I mean, it's full of stories. Zechariah told about these prophets that would be ashamed of their vision when they prophesy. Their parents would say they're speaking lies in the name of the Lord. And
did you say sorry about Elon Musk?
Yeah, I believe he's the bad guy, the son of perdition, the Antichrist or whatever.
Okay.
He was
Do you want to hear a little theory that I came out with? It's nothing connected with what Joe said, but it's just there in my mind, and I'll forget about it because I'm quite tired today. I found this video just where it was talking about it's in America or somewhere, where these great big sinkholes have taken the whole river, and the river was really old. It'd been there for a really long time. And then I thought, it just crossed my mind. So you can call me crazy if you like, but you know, where the pyramids were was all water. I'm wondering if they built the pyramids over sinkholes. That's why they didn't have to worry about digging down, because there was already a hole there.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just a little theory I came up with, because the sinkhole's already got a hole in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, where do them things come from? That's weird stuff. Isn't there water in the bottom of a lot of them?
I sent it to Mike Helmick, and he went, "That is kind of creepy, because this river's gone and left these sinkholes, and all the water went down the sinkhole."
That is weird.
A hole is empty, isn't it? So where does the hole come from? That's a good question.
Well, the lava comes out. The lava comes out in Hawaii, and then dirt from the States. No, I'm just kidding.
It's a hole. It's all the sand. It's all the sand we're digging up. You know, we're digging sand out. We're making cement. Look at all the sand and cement we remove every single day. You look at how much building goes on every single day. You know, just in one town alone.
Yep.
And then, you know, multiply that by, you know, every city. It's incredible.
So,
and they're taking natural defense away, aren't they, of the beaches and the shore? It's a natural defense, which they're just changing. And yeah.
So you guys know,
wherever they're stealing it, wherever it is they're stealing it from, you know, they're stealing lots of it. That's for sure. You know, and making sand, cement, and it goes into all sorts of things, doesn't it? A tongue, yeah.
It's the core of the earth, the molten core. I'm just kidding. No, there's a verse that might spark some interest. Speaking of this Revelation story, and I'll just tell you what I believe the verse to be before I read it. I believe it's the Falcon 9 rocket with the Dragon capsule that resupplies the ISS. I believe it's that in this verse, because you know that rocket, the Falcon 9, is the one that comes back down and lands on the launch pad. So this verse says, this is John, and he's seeing a vision, and it's Revelation 13, verse 11. It says, "And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon." And then verse 13, it says, "And he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles that he had power to do in the sight of the beast." So this is specific. It says somebody is going to be making, or that Antichrist or whatever, or false prophet, he's going to be making fire come down from heaven on earth, and people are going to be able to see it. We have that in our world now. December 21st, 2015 was the first time that happened. So, I mean, if you believe if you're part of the world, you believe that. I'm not saying that I believe that, but that's what do you call it? The mainstream story is that Elon Musk launches rockets up to space and they land back on Earth again using fire to come down. But so these visions, people always like, even pastors and all throughout time, anytime I've tried to learn about this stuff from anybody else, they're talking about like a lot of symbolic things and a lot of well, this doesn't really have any of that. It does, but it's not like that. You can just read it, and the words it's actually using, that's just John describing what he's seeing. So it's like if if I was looking out the window and you guys couldn't see out the window, and I was just describing some horse that I saw out there. Oh yeah, there's a horse. He's brown. He's got a saddle, and that's just what their visions are. They were just explaining, but they didn't know what a rocket was. They didn't know what the ISS was, so they called them beasts. But yeah, the craziest thing is the ISS. That is the whole.
Something, Joe. We don't know what the past was like anymore. We can't even tell whether it was thousands of years ago or it only happened hundreds of years ago, because everything's such a lie. And I was just thinking, when you were saying that about sand, up the road is a hill called Coombe Hill. It's the biggest chalk hill in the UK, and it's kind of in the middle of England. And chalk is crushed shell. Like, can this be true? And then obviously sand is particles of rocks, isn't it? All just got really small. It's like, really?
Yeah.
These things are lies.
Big Bang.
Chalk cannot be crushed shell. There's a great big hill, biggest in England, crushed shell sitting above the ground in one area. Dunk.
Yeah. There's a lot of things that we just were born into, and we just have this idea, this society's idea, and I mean, some of it's just so way wrong. And we're learning a lot of that stuff, like some of the weird stuff, like I'm just trying to think of an example. There's a lot of strange things that we were like, yeah, that's true. And we didn't know that before. We didn't even think about it before, but now we know it's a certain way or whatever. And it just phases each one of us that does see with these eyes. It phases us like.
How can, maybe it is, but happy crushed shell, and it's on a hill of about 5-10 miles from me, and it's above ground, and it's quite big, and that's the biggest one in the UK.
I have no idea, but how do fossils get up to mountaintops? Fossils of fish. Something happened, a flood or whatever. A big flood happened. Water had to be covering those mountains in order for there to be fossils all over up there of fish and snails.
Yeah, Martin Leakey has this idea that probably in the early 1800s. Oh, minute, battery about to die. Alex!
Yeah, I'm still here, but I'm like, it keeps giving me warning. I'm on 5% now, so if I disappear, you'll know why.
Hey, it's great to meet you, Alex.
Very quickly then, Alex, anything you want to say before you go, like your music, your videos?
No, not really. No, I think I've said it all before. I'm just busy behind the scenes doing lots of stuff, preparing for the conference. So, people might think, I've not released anything for a while, but there's a reason why. I'm still busy behind the scenes doing stuff, and it'll be worth the wait. So, I better shoot off now. But thanks for inviting me, and nice to meet you, Joe.
Nice to meet you.
I didn't ask you to sing today, did I?
No, not today. Maybe next time, huh?
Hey, keep up the work. Good stuff.
Thanks, guys. Okay, I'm going to love you and leave you then.
Nice hearing from you, Alex. Take it easy, brother, won't you?
Yeah, peace, man. Peace to all of you.
Have a good one.
Peace, guys.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye, darling.
Yeah, I get a kick out of
I'm sorry. You've got to go soon as well, have you?
No, I said I get a kick out of his stuff. His songs. They're great.
Yeah, I quite like one of my favorite bits is one of the videos where he's looking at the signs and he doesn't. It's like there's two signs, like both ways are bad, and he's looking at them. Well, which way do I go? But it's just so funny.
Yeah, it's definitely that'll be something that goes down in history as a classic. I think actually a lot of the things that we're doing, we don't realize that people ahead of us that are that aren't here yet or that are children or whatever, people aren't going to forget the things that we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? Like we have these stories in our history books about Christopher Columbus and about all these things, and some of them are true and some of them are BS and whatever, but we're in an age now that from the point from here forward, we have very good record of the things that are happening in this world. I mean, we can go watch our conversation that we're having right now. We can go watch it at any time.
You know what I mean? And if we did lose our internet, then we've lost all the information again because it's digitally. Some of this you can't put in paper, can you? But we've stopped printing the pictures out, haven't we?
Well, we'd all still have our information that we have on our computers and whatnot, to kind of, yeah, like you're saying, to start over with. I mean, hopefully that wouldn't happen, but I know what you mean, though, because it could.
Yeah. So what are you going to be doing in the near future then? Because obviously you've been putting a few videos out yourself.
Yeah. I don't have any change of plans necessarily. I guess I am seriously thinking about going out to bringing all my optics and whatever out to Nevada, just driving out there with my truck. And what I want to do is I want to set up my D5000 so that I can stream on YouTube and Facebook with it, because using my iPhone is just kind of lame. But if I got that D5000, I have some nice lenses for that. I seriously want to do a live stream that's like just continues on for a little while of people hanging out on the other side of the lake where they supposedly hit a helicopter, because it's just such a lie. It really actually it offends me that people believe that, and that here's what offends me, that I question what I was learning because of that show a couple years ago. I'm like, how can that be? When I go up to the lake, I don't see that curve. What am I doing wrong? Or what? It offends me that they put that out.
Video when she says we're landing and they're not. They're up in the air.
They're 500, 600 feet in the air. It's just a terrible production. Like that was right at the beginning of that video I made when I'm like, helicopter doors closed and there's so many things in there. Helicopters facing the wrong way, and yeah. And here's the other thing too. How tall is the helicopter? When they were, you know what I mean? When they were going up off the water, and he says, we're 24 feet up.
He said, tell me how many seconds, like, let's count how many seconds it takes basically before you actually see you. 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10 seconds.
Yeah. It's, we're actually.
Did you see the videos that it wasn't my video, again I mirrored it, but a guy called Steve, and basically he drew the globe, and he basically said if you wanted to go from here down to South America, in America down we go, basically as you flew out you'd have to corkscrew down,
like, yep,
and down. And when do we ever go down? And the other thing is I just imagine in that corkscrew, it's going with the rotation, going against the rotation, going with the rotation. Can you imagine what a plane flight would be like?
Well, DITRH, he has a video, I think, of one of those circus rides with the spinny things, and he makes some good points on that. Like, that's kind of what you sit in one of those spots, and the big merry-go-round thingy starts going, and then you're spinning on that. That's only like half the motion that we have here on Earth, right? It's ridiculous.
It is. It's so ridiculous.
We actually need to, be really, I don't mean arrogant in a negative way. I mean arrogant in a way because we know the truth. There's a certain truth that we know and we can prove it any day. We need to be, I don't mean arrogant. That's not the right word. I have a terrible vocabulary. We need to be very pressing forward against these people, aggressive, like progressive.
Bring it up, like.
Well, yeah, I mean, today I just kind of did it a little bit for the first time when that guy said, well, you have a point. The water is level, but it's not flat. And then I said, okay, hold on. I'm going to send you a link to 17 videos that I have where I've gone out and proved that I can see 17 miles past your curve. So I actually proved it. So where's your evidence? Show me your evidence.
There is no evidence. They can't find the curve. There is no curve to be found.
The only evidence they do is send you a blue, what is it? A pale blue dot.
And I'll tell you what you can find. I'll tell you what you can find every time. The horizon. When you get to the horizon, you can find the horizon again. And when you get there,
it does that over and over again.
Exactly. There's no curve to be found.
No, there's not. And it, you know what? That's an interesting thing about the Bible thing too. Those people that overcome the deception, they get sealed in their forehead, right? Well, the rest of the world, they get a mark in their forehead or on their hand. I'm like, I hope that's not like a belief. Like, I don't know. I'm just saying they have the mark of the beast and they worship the dragon and the beast. But those 144,000, they worship God in spirit and truth. So I think this world has a totally misunderstood idea of the Word of God.
No, I think it's something to do with frequencies. It's got to be a frequency. It's got to be a frequency thing. We're all linking up because we're on similar frequencies. So you're right. You don't have to agree on everything. That's not the point. Yeah, the point is we know we're flat and blah blah blah. But it's frequencies, isn't it? It's like you've got to gel with someone who's on the same frequency as you, same spiritual journey, I suppose.
Yeah, because if you think about all reality it's all we are and all we have, isn't it? Frequencies are everything. It constructs the whole everything.
And I just I guess frequency. That doesn't really, to me anyway, that doesn't really explain the gist of it, because there has to be a source for what I'm saying is like the creator or whatever that made all this and made us, designed us. What I'm saying is that all of this is coming from him. And it's because we are lost in this world. We're lost. There is no truth in this world, really, is there? I mean, flat Earth is truth, but I'm just saying everybody here believes a lie. And that's why we're screaming and yelling it. But
not just one lie. Everything's a lie.
Yeah. And God's sitting there invisible to his creation, because Satan has turned God's throne in, above the firmament, whatever you want to call it, heaven. Satan has turned that into a universe. The world believes it's a universe, and it's not. It's a creation, a beautiful thing that God did. I mean, it's no words. Look what he made, and look at us. I mean, I can move my fingers and I can see and smell and drink coffee. And I'm just saying, there's a lot.
Walk, breathe, drink. We can do it all. Think, blink.
We're communicating. I mean,
our lungs are going. There's many things going on there in once.
Heart beating, breathing, blood flow, everything. That's God doing all of that. Like
and we're supposed to think it before we say it.
Yeah.
What? I thought about what I'm going to say to you before, you know, like, I don't know, we just don't think of these things, do we?
Well, that's why I think
I think, therefore, I am.
We are all learning from each other. And like, Karen, how did I meet you? Flat Earth, right? Pretty much. I mean, Facebook or whatever. But what I'm saying is, all these people that I know and all these people that I trust are
one thing in common, and that's how we all met, and that was through this thought alone, this flat Earth thought.
Yeah. And in the Bible, it says God was going to gather his children up, and they would spring up from every country at the end. I mean, that's what's happening. So, you know, I'm sure there's lots of different stories or versions of these things, because I know that there's like more than one, like Adam and Eve story or the beginning story and things like that. But so I do understand what you're saying about, you know, I forgot the word you use, like allegories and like stories and things, because they are, but that's, I think, the trick or the secret is once I started to invest time into it, and it wasn't until I started believing it that I got proof. And now he's just like with me every day, and I can't even explain it. There is no teacher in this world that can teach me anything. Do you know what I mean?
I think so, Joe. The one reason that gets you to flat Earth, though, is that you know who you are as a person to start with, though you're not battling those things. And once you know who you are, everything is different. It just is. Because otherwise
you're not hiding the fact that you're not pretending that you know everything. And I think that's just enough for people to accept.
A lot of people, the ego thing isn't there. That's the last thing that's on our mind, is worrying about some, excuse me, goddamn ego. Yeah. We've just lost Astral, by the way, just to let you know. He's obviously, his internet's. We're all struggling with this thing. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah, I think that I mean, every day, think how much that you've learned, and think how much we've learned in the last couple of years, just about, I mean, when we wake up.
Yeah, we've done the whole of school. We've done from infant to A levels in 3 years.
Colin, you started I mean, you have a show here that you do weekly, right? What I'm saying is that is you're teaching a class in a way to the people that are in the chat and the people that watch this video later. And what I'm saying is this is education, because we're willing to learn. If you can't go to a school and you can't teach a class of students if they already know everything. You can't teach them anything. They have to be open to learning in order to learn. And it's nothing that people should be embarrassed about. Oh yeah, I didn't know that Earth was flat, so it doesn't make me less of a person. It just means, oh, I learned something now, and it's actually really cool, because it refutes all the stuff that I used to believe that I knew was a lie, you know, or that I knew wasn't genuine and true. So, but yeah, I think we're getting close to a change, and I believe that it's going to be a beautiful change, something that none of us has ever even been able to comprehend.
Everything, it's not every single thing is ugly, because the trees are beautiful, the sea is beautiful, the sun, whatever, they're still beautiful things, the plants, the trees, nature, animals, but it's so ugly.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, if I said that, I didn't mean like, I didn't mean it that way, but yeah, the people, the hearts of the people that have been born into this world, me included, are sick, ugly hearts. And it seems to me that in the last 3 years, I got a new one. Like, I didn't do it. God did it. Like, something came over me and said, I'm changing you. And like every day I find myself, you know, expecting different things, and I'm content with nothing. Like I used to, I don't know what it would be called. I rely on this world more than I do now. I don't need it. I don't need anything or anybody.
And when you go out, you're going, look at the trees, look at the sky. Where's the sun? Where's the moon? You're just doing, like, mind, you know. I used to go out and buy clothes or think about what was on the television or whatever it is. Now you're just like, on God. You're watching everything.
And you know what that is? You know what that really is? Like, if we were living back when they were writing the Bible, you would have just said, giving glory to God. That's like giving him glory for his creation. I mean, that's what we should all be doing every day anyway. Like,
it's like a beacon. I don't know if it's for everybody, but it's a bit like a beacon, you know, whatever is in your flat earth, you know, God, the Bible, the land, the experiments, whatever it is, but it goes flat earth, flat earth, That's it. It's just the beacon in my head.
Yeah. And it's filling it up with information that is, it's like divine information, like supernatural information that you can see, but the people that you live next door to or the people that you work with, they think you're a nut or whatever. But you're like, no, but I can see this clear. You can explain it to them. And I've tried to put myself in their shoes going, okay, this guy, like, I'd feel kind of threatened by flat earthers if I was stuck on the globe. I'd be like, these guys are saying something. And I mean, there's some veracity to some of it. Like, even if you don't believe it at all or anything, and you're against it and you hate flat earthers, in the bottom of your heart, the things they're saying, like, well, do we ever sense Earth moving? And they all say to themselves in their subconscious mind, well, no, it ain't moving, but I know it's moving. That's what they say. But I know it's moving. They
oh, dearie me. Yeah, they can't get past, even when you tell them, the words can come out of their mouth, but they still can't let it go in their brain.
Yeah.
But we are learning, and we don't know everything. And when you get into flat earth, all flat earth does is get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, and there's still more to come.
It's like a deep well of knowledge, and we just keep bringing it up and taking it in, you know.
Yeah, I tell you what, I hope that they don't, like, could you just explain in a few words? You can't, because everything leads to something else. And if you start talking about water, you'll end up somewhere else. You know, you can't help it because everything's interlinked. It's incredible what they've managed to do to us, really. You know, like when I believed it was 93 million miles away, the sun, it looked 93 million miles away, but it's so obvious it isn't.
Mm-hmm. You feel the heat from it. That's enough for me. I work out in the, you know, swinging a hammer or whatever in the summer. It gets, and when it's warm, I mean, the sun, it feels like it's like 6 inches above my head and sweating. And then in the afternoon, like 4 or 5 o'clock, when it gets down to the level of the trees, or 8 o'clock, whatever, all of a sudden it cools down like 20 degrees. I like that. That just really tells me a lot about it. And the Bible says you can't escape the heat of the sun. The Bible's got something to say about every one of these topics that we're learning, you know.
But I don't even work out how, because in the summer the UK has a lot more light than in the winter. So coming up for solstice, you know, I could have 14, 15, 16 hours of sun going across my head, which it goes across quicker in the winter. And while that thing, which isn't that far away, is going across my head, it starts to go across your head. And then, oh, hang on a minute, we're still there, and Australia have got light, and it's coming on their head. So how this thing works.
And that's just what I guess I can't say it with like any authority, like I know something, but in my heart, I have knowledge in my heart that, and I mean, I can't verify these things, but this world is a whole, I mean, it's like a miracle of a place. And we were brought in here and born into here and immediately hammered with the idea that it is nothing. This world is nothing. You're nothing. Nothing you do has purpose. It's all just a big coincidence.
Yeah, we're supposed to be going about 260,000 miles an hour in 3 different directions, one anti-clockwise moon at 1,000 miles an hour at the equator. I mean, for goodness sake.
Rob Skiba says it best.
We're going to be Mach 80.
Yeah, but Rob Skiba says it best. He says, I don't trust scientists that if they think that we came from monkeys. They're not trustworthy. You know, can you really? I mean, if I walked up to you and said, yeah, I was born in a couple generations before that, I was actually an elephant and I had tusks and I had a nose thing. Prove me wrong. You know, that was only 20 generations ago and I was an elephant. Well, would you actually entertain that idea? You'd be like, okay, then, you know, it's not. But when you're born into it,
that we came from another animal.
What's that?
I said how they could do that, pretend that we've come from an animal.
I know. Name one time that you've ever seen a horse be born from a zebra, or a monkey be born from a human. No.
I mean, I was watching this program. It's not even that. They're so different, the inside of a monkey. You know, they've got much longer arms because they're predators.
And they don't have a consciousness like we do. Not the same.
We don't predator. And also, they've got completely different shaped ribs to us. For this reason.
It's just because they have similar. They're like the closest animal to, you know, the basic function of a human body. So that it's like, oh, we must have come from that. Ridiculous.
This is what I'm saying. The lies of what they've made us believe. It's not even just that the land's flat and we're not on a ball, although that's bad enough. And water clings to a ball. Gravity, and it's just everything. History. Oh my goodness. It's just.
Yep. I've often wondered, and I mean, I don't know anything about this, but I've had this thought go through my mind a couple of times where, what if this life, you know, we have history and we have history books and we go back all these thousands of years and whatever, and we have the Bible from all that time ago, and okay, what if that was just what every person was born into? Do you know what I'm saying? Like instead of God putting people in a world where was where there was nothing there except like wildlife and plants and animals, and then man kind of started making his own houses and buildings and all this, or maybe it was just that way just when we were born. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's just entertaining because the thought has come to my mind. Like maybe I'm talking to Karen and all this it's real for me, but for everybody, maybe there's nobody else. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like there's a lot of weird things.
Computer games and everybody's wanting the next version of virtual reality, and yet we're the most amazing virtual reality thing ever. Why couldn't they have concentrated on us?
I know
we've got pretending we're getting more virtual.
It's like they don't want us to look at our abilities and our talents and use them, because then we'll find out that the earth is flat.
They don't want us to think, they don't want us to communicate, and they don't want us to come together.
Yep. So we're doing exactly that. Screw them. That's what I say.
Yeah, I'm just a bit surprised that it's not gone more mainstream, really. I mean, what are they doing to? I mean, this is the other thing as well. Like, yeah, it was. It was Alex that said he's going to use my paused astronaut. So it's not mine, by the way. I just found the footage. One's moving around, one isn't. They're supposed to be live. Bowen's first trip outside about 2013, so it's just ridiculous. But it's a bit like anything else. You know what they're like? It's a bit like not one politician has said, oh my goodness, she's right. There's a poor astronaut. Like, well, I must look into that, because what can they say? It's supposed to be live and one of them's paused. So what are they going to say?
Well, do you remember the Falcon Heavy launch? And then Jaron found something about the YouTube live stream video that it had that, however, I don't know how this would, happen, but they edited and changed one of the cameras was wrong, and they changed it to the correct camera. Not a big deal or whatever, but the fact that they changed a live stream, and you can go there now and it still says streamed live on that February 6th. That to me answers a lot of questions, like about YouTube, Facebook, I don't think that it's necessarily our platform that we're using. Do you know what I'm saying? I think that there's nothing that can stop us from using it if it exists. But at the same time, I think that a lot of the stuff that happens on YouTube seems to be very controlled, very controlled. And I don't mean like by some humans in some office going, oh, we don't want flat earth videos going through. Where I think it's more than that. I think it's like, things are happening without people's hands. Things are happening like, how did Elon Musk get to YouTube?
I think what they do is they change. Like, I know that some people have really big channels and go through, but I just think that if they don't like you or whatever, or they think you're going to be a problem, they change the algorithms. So as a YouTuber,
no views or whatever.
How you ever find certain groups? You won't find people because it's so big. You'll just find the one about, it's got 93 million views because she's she's what do you call it? She's painting her nails.
Yeah.
So in that's what they'll see. Those algorithms, those ones will be right up there. But the flat earth one.
Same thing happens if you search popular questions, like like I'll just come up with an example, like proof of curvature or something. Like if you type that in there, you're gonna get like all videos that are like, we're proving flat earth wrong, what flat earthers are stupid. And it's like flooded with that. And that's where we come in. We need to keep flooding them. Like, I mean, you see, I put a lot of videos out, and I'm not necessarily, they're not necessarily like the best videos, but what I'm saying is I have something like 2,950 videos on my channel, and 14 or 1,500 of them are public. But that's just how it's just. I just make a lot of videos, or a lot of it's just like short clips of for time lapses and things that I'm making or whatever. But like on an average day, if I had 4 videos on my channel, I might get however many views for those 4 videos. But if I have 1,400 videos, I get a lot of views, even if I only get a few views on a video, or you know what I'm saying? I get a lot of views just because I'm putting out a lot of videos. It's a lot of opportunity for people to click on it, I guess. But I think we just need to keep doing what we're inspired to do. Truth,
The thing is, especially like Sun and Moon, one day we did the NASA things, and I've never been there before, but we were laughing at something, and we were all put a comment in. We could see our comments, but we couldn't. No one else could see each other's comments, so they'd already blocked us. But it's not my fault there's a paused astronaut. It's not my fault they're touching material. It's not my fault that it's wires, and it's just ridiculous to think that you'd have something like that covered in wires doing 17,000 miles an hour with all those wires inside and out. It's just ridiculous. It's not my fault. We know they're living.
We wouldn't build something like that anyway. We wouldn't. Okay.
Store.
Why would any human? I mean, I'm sure that there are people that would volunteer for it, but why would any human volunteer to go get up into a little crammed, claustrophobic little machine just to have the greatest chance to die of anyone existing, like every moment that you're up there?
Yeah, Joe, do you know something else as well? When do you ever hear them or see them having any drills? In reality, because they live in such a dangerous place, they should have had their suits on. Because if anything goes wrong, by the time they put their suit on, we did anyway.
Apparatus for breathing on at all times, because if there's any catastrophe, anything happens, the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to need air. And I'm sure they have, they have
laughing. All they're doing is laughing and messing around and being stupid, and keep trying to show you that this thing's the size of a football pitch when it's not. Even when they swim around in the thing, whatever you want to call them, whatever they're doing, it's not that big.
They're there to entertain and to indoctrinate the elementary children. That's really what NASA is for. Because as far as I'm concerned, to be an adult, I went for a long time without these new eyes I have. I went for a long time believing the lies. But now, with the way I'm seeing things now, I don't think an adult can really buy this stuff unless they were born being taught this stuff. So that's what I'm saying. The kids now, teach them flat earth. The young ones, teach them flat earth, because it'll mingle around, and before you know it, the parents will be like,
you know what? Even if they're not watching the videos, every school book has either got a globe on it or a space rocket on it.
Yep, and that I believe that that's not going to change until. He was talking about timeline. I kind of have a timeline in my head. I believe that this time that we're in right now, where we're doing all this learning and we're doing all this preaching or sharing truth or whatever you want to call it, I believe that that's a period of time that lasts 1,260 days. Now, I don't know when it started, so I don't know when it, but that's what I believe, that there's testimony being given in the spirit. It says God will give power to his two witnesses, and they'll give their testimony for 1,260 days. So I think that's just my take. But and then after that, because they're redeemed from among men, those 144,000. But after that, there's 42 months here on Earth that'll be just like this, and the space rockets will be doing their thing. And that's something that I don't understand. Once the stars are gone, or like once the stars fall to the Earth, I don't think there's gonna be more rockets going up. It just wouldn't make much sense with it. So I think we're coming to a close on all this stuff in this world, and that's why this truth is being revealed. It's like a last chance for us to know the God that made us. Like he's given this information to us, putting it in our minds and giving us the eyes and ears to comprehend these things. Not everybody, but the world has the information now, is what I'm saying. The world how many people haven't heard of flat Earth? There's a lot of people that haven't, but not for long. You know what I mean? It's been probably one of the biggest subjects in public, like bigger than politics, I think, even on the social media and on YouTube. And maybe I'm in an echo chamber, but my echo chamber is about 10 times bigger than it was before I started doing flat Earth. Because now I had 147 friends or something on Facebook. Now I got like 3,800 or something. And YouTube, I have 1,000 or 1,200 subscribers or something. What I'm saying is, everyone says, "Oh, you're just in an echo chamber with your flat earthers," and I'm like, I don't think so. My echo chamber's grown a lot. Like there's a lot. I know a lot more people than I used to know. So,
well, you're starting to get more recognized now, aren't you? You've got Ditcher making videos of your star. It's really great.
I'm glad.
Another one. Stan Smith's another one. Dude's got
Mike
some great stuff.
I like that guy. Mike Helmick's awesome.
People that, and then you've got
actually, Mike Helmick played one of my videos one time that I found a NASA glitch. The one where they were all like waving, the three guys, and then they did like the Star Trek beam me up Scotty thing. And then Mike made a video about it, about what do they call it? It's like virtual reality for video games, or I can't remember what the term is. You know what I'm talking about though. But yeah, I found a video. Mike was the first guy I went and talked to. I'm like, Mike, you got to see this. Put a video up. But
I sent Mike that video of the river that disappeared with the sinkholes, and I've sent it to you. Okay. It's creepy. That's what he said.
Well, I think that what you just said, it's creepy. Everybody's going to be so creeped out by it's because we have never seen anything supernatural in the way that I believe that we're going to see, and that it says every eye will see him. So after that 42 months where it says the beast will continue, like that's after those 144,000 get caught up to God's throne. And then they're there for 42 months, but then they come back here with Jesus. They are those who are with him. So they're with him throughout eternity, from the beginning from the foundation of the world to the end. And of course, I don't think that these people are going to know this or remember this because they're born into a baby body and live their life. But the world is going to be saved because of because we're giving our reputations up, throwing our lives away now for truth to spread the truth and to teach these people what we're learning. When the stars fall and when all this stuff starts going on during those 42 months, when there's destruction or the vials of wrath, or God's wrath is being poured out, God's judgment, whatever, that only the people that don't believe in God are going to have to deal with that, because the people that have faith in God, God's prepared a supernatural thing. Like he's prepared a place for them. And I've read that he'll do miracles for them during those 42 months. So I used to think that they'd be like, people would be getting killed. And like I don't believe any of that anymore. I believe it's all mostly spiritual death, like dead to the world. You know what I mean? But I suppose we've been talking for a while, huh?
Yeah. Oh, well, golly, yeah, we've been going for nearly 3 hours. Very much appreciate you coming on, Joe. You're a very clever guy, and it's a pleasure, and I thank you very much for all the research that you do as well. And I've sent you the sinkhole one. I've sent you Chris UK's experiment, and he needs a bit of help for this. You'll understand when I say the view bit.
I think I probably have an idea of what he's looking for. People all over that can be a measuring device for him in different locations, right?
Yeah, we take records so we can prove it.
I even do a little bit of that for my own stuff, depending on what I'm doing. But yeah, that observations, that's how we know where we live.
Yeah, he's away on holiday for another, I don't know, he went yesterday. He's away for 2 weeks, but he wants to think, well, put it out, and it's started to, get bigger, because obviously people like his idea as well. But I'll email him, but we'll do that off air. Anyway, big shout out to the chat room. I can see James, Nimblehorse, Chris, Neil, Trouble About, Lou, Poopy Pants. That's what I can see. Anybody want me to do a shout out before we go? Put your name in the chat room. Give them just 2 seconds, Joe.
Oh, no problem. I'm not in a hurry. I'm not in a hurry at all.
Juan's there. Nimblehorse. I've done Nimblehorse.
Poopy Pants. I wanted to say that one.
I know, Poopy Pants.
James Mason.
James Mason's also, he'd like to change the education system because basically he feels that they basically everything is in fear, and they're making money out of our fear.
Yeah.
And when we're talking, I think we're giving wisdom, but we're not. It's just part of this whole thing, and it's quite narcissist. And he'd like schools to change so that children are having a completely different syllabus than what they're doing now. And he's going to take his he's making leaflets. He goes out, he's starting to go to talk to people. Awesome. And James is going to, because there's 8 laws, he's going to break them down. I said, break them down into little videos. He's going to put them into little videos. And then when he's finished, I'm going to put them on Sun and Moon, because they'll all be broken down, like part 1, part 2, so that,
like Mark Sharp videos, kind of like sections.
Very articulate, James. Anyway, James comes on sometimes, and he's from New Zealand. So shout out to James again. We've got William, Walter. Anybody else want their name mentioned? Neil.
Neil. Maybe my chat's ahead of yours. Neil, Gizmo, Russell, Loopy. How do you say that? Ruan.
Oh yeah, James has just said it's not the elephant in the room. It's we are living in an elephant.
There you go. It's on the back of a turtle, right? I'm just kidding. Yeah, we're learning a lot, and I'm just I'm overwhelmed, grateful for being able to experience what I'm experiencing, and
because in a sense you lot are turning into the new, even if you don't want this name, scientists. You're the new version of it.
I put a post on Facebook yesterday or the day before that said the flat earthers are actually the experts in science, and the scientists are actually running away, hiding. They don't even talk to us. So what we're doing is we're going out proving things, and then they just Oh, sorry. What was that?
Just William Shatner, he did that, didn't he? They said, what's the difference between the science and science fiction? He said they're the same thing.
Yeah, they're the same thing. And then he said, he actually even went a little further, if I remember right. And he said, so science would send a probe out to some distant galaxy or whatever, planet or whatever. And the science fiction part is that nobody knows if there's even a place to go. Nobody knows that. We just sent a rocket up, and I believe a bunch of evil spirits live up where those 7 planets are. And they're just...
It's so bad, isn't it? They're taxing us to take us to somewhere that doesn't exist.
Yeah. And, well, you know what? It even says about Lucifer, it says that he has written in his heart to ascend to the heights of the clouds and be like the Most High, and to set his or exalt his throne above the stars of God. I mean, that's exactly what he did, like through deception, you know. So we're taking it back now. We're changing it, and we're not going to give up. I mean, we've already won. We've already
Once
won.
you go back, you can't go back on that note there, Joe. Thank you so much, Joe. We obviously asked you to come back on. It's a great pleasure. We'll quickly talk about the Chris UK, and yeah, and it's great, isn't it? We're all beginning to link in really well. Anyway, like Gathika's in the chat room now. Hi, Gathika. I haven't seen you in a while. On a hangout. Yeah.
Thank you very much for having me on. I enjoy talking with you guys, and I enjoy getting different points of view and different ideas. And like, I'm not one of the people that thinks that there's like a way that everybody should go. I think we all should be ourselves, and we should learn what we learn, and we should share it with everybody, even if they don't disagree, or I mean, even if they don't agree and we don't like what they're saying to us. We should all take in what people are saying, and we should all share with them what we believe.
Learn, isn't there, Joe?
Yep.
Anyway, it's a much pleasure. Thank you very much to Conspiracy Music Guru Alex, to Paul on the plane, to Astral, to Flat Earth Dude, Patricia. I don't know if Patricia's there. Patricia. Thank you, Patricia. And thank you, Joe. And thank you to everyone. Should be back tomorrow. So good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Mwah.